Hey everyone, how you guys doing? I know no one's on, but I'll just get started a little bit early today. Let everyone kind of stroll in slowly but surely. I know it's always late on Friday, but this is the time when I can do it. Live streaming. And I got to get my laptop set up so I can see if I am live, make sure I'm always live. Always got to check that. I am doing 2 prints right now. So busy, trying some new things. Alrighty, where are we at here? YouTube Studio, content, live. Let's see here. I'm always struggling with where I should go for this. I gotta get better at live streams. Hey, what's up, Brent? How you doing, man? Nice to see you tonight. So what are you up to tonight? Just curious. You watching the game, the NBA Finals? I know that's going on. What is it, the Knicks and the Spurs, I believe? So I don't pay too much attention to sports these days. I used to be really into sports, but I don't know, probably ever since my kids were born, I just stopped really focusing on sports. Every now and then I'll watch a game, like maybe some college football or the NFL. I do like the NFL. Basketball, I like it when it's probably the finals and the NBA finals. That's about all I watch for basketball. Because like the regular season, it's just not exciting. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe if you're really into basketball, you might like it. But yeah, I've been real busy optimizing these wall plates, trying to change the material, and I'll talk about that. And I've got a video that I got to edit it for Sunday, and that will be on me changing from PCTG to PETG. So, good. Wife and I went to the American Legion for steak dinner night. Ooh, that's nice. That's great. What else they have? Like potatoes and maybe some sort of vegetable, I assume. Maybe a drink too. That's pretty cool. And that's cool too. You're going to another local market in July. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the idea that I had for, for doing a video reviewing somebody's 3D printed product, I think that would be kind of fun. Just something I do for like 50 or $100, somewhere between there. And I think it'd be good just it would push engineers or makers like yourself to, all right, I got to prepare my product. I got to prepare the story, what product I want to show, the details about the product, the value add about the product, because you got to know all those things to send them to me for me to be able to actually debut the product and review it, whatever, Not that I'm some expert at 3D printing, but, any sort of exposure is always good, and especially if you could do someone on YouTube who even has, 2,500 followers. You never know. You could get one video that could get 1,000, 2,000, 20,000 views. You never know what's going to go viral on YouTube. So that's if you're not into doing videos of yourself on YouTube, which a lot of people don't feel comfortable with. It took me a while to get comfortable here. Even still, sometimes I'll record videos and I'm like, maybe sometimes I'm not in the mood or I'm not in the zone and the videos just don't feel right, they don't feel comfortable. Salad bar, baked potatoes, and shrimp. Sweet. Steak and shrimp, that sounds good. So July 3rd and 4th, have a flea market next town over, but have the county fair end of July. Thinking about getting a spot. Dude, that's a good idea. Curious, what does the county fair cost you to get a spot? I would hope it's hopefully under $100 for a table, you know. And do you have to supply the table to an event like that? The table and chairs? Just curious. I would think they wouldn't want you to bring a table. There'd be a lot of like hectic logistics for a fairground, but maybe chairs, you might supply the chairs. Just curious. Hopefully everyone's having a great night. I'm having a good night. The week was a very busy week. My kids ended school this week for the summer. So my wife and kids are off of school for the summer. You know, there's pros and cons to it. I really enjoy them being home for the summer. The only cons are like, you know, when you're trying to do YouTube videos, when you're trying to focus on work, it is a little more difficult. Sometimes the kids are running around being loud, but it's all great. I don't sweat that in the least bit. I've learned to work around it. You know, I try to stay focused, and that's what you got to do. You know, they spend a lot of time outside too, but they do a lot of indoor stuff like crafts, and they have these, my wife gets these school workbooks each summer, and the kids hate them. They don't hate it, but they don't want to do those. They want to do fun things. $150 a spot, then $100 for insurance. Oh, we have to supply the tables. Oh, you do? Okay. So $250, man, for a county fair. You definitely have to be bullish and have high conviction on your products. And your last thing that you were at, you sold out. So that tells you right there, you got a product that sells. It's just a matter of, does the county fair fit your market, right? Maybe that other market fit better. So you gotta try it, right? You won't know unless you try it. So I think it's worth the $250, you know. At the least, you'll sell $250 worth of material, and you'll at least break even, I think, probably for a product like that. At a county fair, there's a lot of people with a lot of tools, and they're going to want to mount their tools with a battery charger that they've probably never seen. You know, most people have never seen your products, and most people have never seen my products. And so, yeah, I think that's a good thing to go to. Yeah, I haven't looked at local markets myself. I do want to look into that. I know they're around here. Kalamazoo has a fairgrounds, and they do I think it used to be called like Shipshewana Arts and Crafts Show, and I'm sure there's a lot of 3D printing local sellers there, so I could check that out. I'm sure it's similar pricing. It's probably like $150 for a table, maybe insurance. I think the insurance is kind of crazy. You would think the market would be insured itself, but yeah. I think it's a 5-day fair, free fair. Oh, okay. It's out in the country, so I feel like it should sell. Yeah, I do too. I think so too. Anything tool related in county fairs, country type of things, 4-H fairs, if it's tool related and it's unique and it adds value to someone, you're going to sell, honestly. I mean, like these, I don't know if these would sell at a county fair. Maybe a few here and there. I don't know what this market is from a local market. I don't know. I'd have to try it to find out, right? That's all you got to do is try it to find out. You know, I know that these things weren't selling on Facebook because people have seen them, and I've really gotten no direct sales from Facebook, so I know that market's not really for it. Maybe Facebook direct, like the marketplace, might be worth a try. But marketing just on the regular feed of Facebook, I don't know. That's not my thing. I think it's for big companies with lots of margin and lots of advertising spend, you know. But Etsy's a good place for these products. Sounds like it is for you as well. You're definitely got traction there. So I don't know if there's any other like specific tool markets. That would be what I would look into. For a battery charger holder that goes on your wall, you got to find like some sort of tool market. Obviously, county fairs would be one. But I wonder if there's like online marketplaces that are more niched down than Etsy. You know, Etsy's very broad, broad makers market. But I wonder if there's like some niche tooling markets you could probably find online. There might be. Yeah, Etsy and Facebook is dead for you guys right now. Been a month now with no sales. Yeah, that's the thing about like, especially Facebook, at least for me. Etsy, again, it depends on like your target audience, if they're in the spending time zone in the season. Maybe it's not the season on Etsy, who knows? I've even been slow on the wall plates. My last sale was a week ago, so you know, I'm 1 week out not having a sale. I did have an interesting issue on Etsy, so I'll tell you the story. Let's see here, 1 second. Thinking about going to Farm Fest this year. Don't know how much it is. Yeah, there you go. You got to find more markets that meet the customers that you're looking for, you know, that are interested in your products. And that's the struggle I would have with this. You know, I got to figure that out. Same thing with my bathroom products. Like, I wouldn't take my bathroom products to a county fair. I just don't see those selling, but I could be wrong, but you never know. So anyways, on Etsy, and maybe I'll do a video on this, I don't know. On Etsy, I had a sale. It was just for one of these little solo wall plates. It was like $20, no big deal, right? So I get it shipped out in time. FedEx Ground Saver is what I'm using for the most part. Sometimes I'll do UPS, just depends. But I did that, and it got there on time, no problems. FedEx took a photo of the box by the front door, so it arrived there safely. And then I got a message like early in the morning, like 6 a.m., which I thought was kind of weird, like 6 a.m., but maybe it arrived the day before. I think that's what it was. And the buyer said that they didn't receive the package. It was in the wrong location at the wrong doorstop. And so I thought to myself, okay, let's look into it. No big deal. I said, I apologize for you not getting your box from FedEx. I'll look into it a little bit. So I ended up getting on Google Maps. And this might be a tip for anyone out there doing e-commerce. If somebody's claiming they didn't get a package, and you have a photo from the what do you call it? Trucking company, the shipping company, go get it on Google Maps and do the street view. So I went there and did the street view to the address that was from Etsy, and then I walked down the street, turned the little guy's face to the front door of the address, and it matched, the trim matched of the door that the package was at. So I matched the FedEx photo to the Google Street View. So I know the package arrived at the address that the person specified in their Etsy account, right? So then I sent her both photos and I said, this is the address that I have on Etsy. Do you have the correct address? And she goes, no, it's not. Really? And so then she goes, oh, I'll go find that address. I kind of thought, maybe that's suspect. I don't know. I could see somebody putting in just some bogus address and just getting the package for free. I don't know. Hopefully it's just a customer, I don't know, having maybe a bad account on Etsy. Maybe she got hacked. That could be true too. She could have got hacked. Maybe the address got hacked and was sent to a different address. But she did say, I'm going to go check for that package, and she never responded back. So maybe she found the package and all is good. Who knows? We'll see. So, yeah. Brent goes, at shows, I have great conversations with customers about new parts they want made. That's a good way to get business. Give them a business card and never hear from them. Oh, yeah. I mean, people are very passive when it comes to like buying products from someone. It's better if you get their information. You got to get their email. That is the key. Get their email. And that way you can reach out. And you can reach out again, and maybe they come back, maybe they don't, Let's see here. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it was weird. Like, that the address was weird too. It had, and I looked at the property, and it had a unit 29 and 30 or something like that, right? 2 units she put on the address. Why would you put 2 units? I thought that was weird. And that didn't come up in any of the searches or anything too. So I was like, okay, that's odd too. We'll see what happens. And I'm gonna, if she comes back complaining, I'm just gonna say, go file a claim to Etsy buyer protection and go get your refund. Because I'm gonna give Etsy this information if something comes back to me. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, we'll see. I'm lucky I haven't had anything like that happen. Yeah, no, that's good. And, I handled it in a good way. I didn't try to claim that she was being fraudulent. I was very professional about it and said, hey, just let me know, whatever. Here's what I found is the Google Street View and the address you gave me look like it's a match from what FedEx sent me as a photo and you as a photo. She has the photo. She saw it. And, but, she said she called FedEx too, and it was like 6 a.m. in the morning. And if they dropped it off at night, you probably never had time to call them. So I don't know, whatever. Maybe she'll be the best customer I've ever had on Etsy. Who knows? Maybe it was just an honest mistake. Who knows what happens? But anyways, it was weird. Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, you're talking about getting emails from customers. Yeah, that's, maybe if it's not email, if they don't feel comfortable, ask them what they feel comfortable with. Like, how could I get a hold of you? Could it be a text message? Could it be email? Email is usually pretty passive. People are okay with that. You could ask Discord. That's another way. Do you have a Discord? Who knows? There's lots of ways to do it. Another way is if they bought something from you. If they bought it with Venmo, then you have their Venmo account. Maybe you can do messages in Venmo. I'm not sure. But I know you have to sometimes friend people on Venmo to send them money. So that could be, another way to do it. I'm trying to think of other communication avenues for customers. It's hard because people want privacy, right? I mean, no one wants to give out their personal information and get spammed, right? No one wants to get spammed by a seller. But if they really are vibing with you, I think email is just the easiest way to do it, I think phone numbers are a little too personal these days. So, yeah, other than that, what time is it? That's 9:40. Cool. So I'm past the 9:30 mark. Everyone who wanted to be here is here. So I'll show you guys what I am doing. So I am doing a video on this, and I recorded it today. I need to edit that recording. And I'm currently migrating from PCTG over to PETG. Now, when I first started this kind of venture with the wall plates, my biggest concern was heat mostly. And PCTG and PETG are dang near similar when it comes to heat tolerance. The melting point of PETG is, I think, 10 degrees C cooler than PCTG. And even printing on this stuff, I got to raise my bed temperature to 90 to keep this stuff from warping. So it's very similar to PCTG. So I don't feel bad about the quality aspect from a thermal perspective. PCTG does have, I guess, better chemical, what do you call it? Chemical, not adhesion, but chemical, if it gets exposed to something like maybe Windex or acetone, it can deal with chemicals better than PETG, apparently. I think PETG might warp a little bit. But, at the end of the day, when have you ever cleaned your wall plates, right? I mean, and if you were to clean them, you probably wouldn't clean them with acetone. You'd probably use some non-abrasive chemical at the end of the day. So I think I'm going to switch over from PCTG to PETG because I'm paying $30 a kilogram. It's just way too high. Honestly, I'm realizing I'm barely making a profit on Etsy with the advertisements and the shipping. And so I need a little more wiggle room as well. If you have failed prints, if I'm at the end of a print, a $5 print, and it screws up at the very top, there goes $5. Now I got to print another one and figure out what went wrong, right? And there's all sorts of other maintenance issues. But lo and behold, it's working out pretty good so far. I'll show you guys some of these prints and show you what's going on. So overall, I did these two prints. Now, they're not exactly the same. One of them's a Decora, right? This is the normal filament that I use, PCTG. It's using brightest white, which is super bright and glossy, which I like. I really like how these turn out. But this is with PETG, which is from Sunlu. And honestly, comparing the two, it's almost the same as far as the look and feel. I would say that this one from Sunlu, I'm not as happy with. It looks almost kind of transparent white. I don't think they added very much white colorant to this PETG. So I'm not going to go with this one, but this was a good test to find out if it was going to work. And I'm using it for other test prints right now as we speak. I'll take you over there and we'll show it to you. But I did find a white color, or a white filament that's PETG from Elegoo that I think is going to work out pretty well. So comparing the two, this one had just a little tiny, like maybe a little bit more yellowish hue to it. Not much though, honestly. I think it's pretty close to this one. And I even took a wall plate that from my house that matched this damn near perfect. And it looks even closer to the PETG than to the actual products I'm shipping. This is like really bright white, and you know, maybe for some households they might like them to blend in more with the you know, the kind of the standard wall plates you get at the store, the hardware store. So I think I found a decent match. I could always find more brighter white PETGs out there, and maybe I'll make a change someday. But in comparison, like if I compare, you know, these two products, this is like $5 to $6 for me to print. This is like $2. Okay, you may not, most people may not say it's a big deal, but $3 to $4 is literally the shipping cost that I'm incurring, because I'm having my buyers meet me halfway. I'm charging them $3.99 for shipping. And so I'm still spending like $3 in shipping, which is the difference here. And if I have print failures, that's a big issue. And all the supports that I put in this pocket, this is a lot, and I'm trying to prevent that. I'll go into that in a sec. It's a little cheaper, obviously, because of the filament. There's less to use even. For some reason, the PCTG is using more grams of filament, which I thought was interesting. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, to take them out of this cavity, it's easier on the PETG. So I'm happy about that as well. I did have some warping problems on the corners, not on this print, but on a few other prints I did today. So I had to raise the bed temperature up to 90, and so far the first two prints I've done at 90, there's no warping on the corners. It's just a slight warping on the corners, which was kind of annoying, but I'm getting there. So I did that, so I'm kind of migrating towards that. I did black as well. Let's see here. I'll show you the difference in black. So here is PCTG and here is PETG. This one's a little more of a matte feel and look than this glossier one, but overall the prints, they're nearly identical. I don't see really any differences here. Now there is one thing I did do was for PCTG, I've been printing at a 0.25 millimeter layer height. For various reasons why I was doing that. I was trying to fix some issues with this plate, but this was before I rearranged the orientation. But I'm trying to print this product at a 45 degree, so I changed the layer height to 16 millimeters. It takes a little longer to print, but it doesn't take much more material, I don't think. At least it doesn't seem like it. And so this is looking really nice, like the layer lines, you can barely see them at 0.16. So I'm really happy about that. It does, strength-wise, PCTG I think is a little more stronger than PETG, but at 0.16 millimeter layers, this thing I think is going to be really strong, including for my modules, which I think I will end up using. So I think I'm definitely going to change for this black. I'm happy with this color. This was Sunlu. I probably will test a few other blacks just to see, you know, if I like maybe the shine a little bit better, if I want more gloss, but we'll see. So I got black, and then I did try printing this bad boy at a 45 without, well, I had like some manual supports that I dumped on here, and it had some weird problems here, and it was probably because it was like maybe shaking back and forth. But I had this weird line at the very top. Kind of a bummer that this quality here, and it's weird, it like did this weird line on the inside. It's really probably hard to see, but so that was kind of a bummer. And then, I mean, the modules are super smooth. I love this. I want to print it like this with no supports. But then the faceplate had like this weird line here. It could be a seam. I didn't pay attention to the print. Maybe this was a seam there. But I thought that was weird. And then it did, I think it had like, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see there's like a little bend here. I think as the nozzle, as it started printing up here, something happened where something contracted, or maybe it fell down a little ways. Who knows? It's really hard to say. I'd probably have to watch it a little more to see what happened. So I'm trying the 45-degree angle again tonight because I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a YouTube viewer of the channel. He bought one of my wall plates, liked it, and said it was a great design. And then he sent me a link to Slant 3D, another 3D printer YouTuber, and with the suggestion of how I could print this at a 45-degree angle and hopefully get it to succeed and remove these internal supports that do affect the quality slightly. I want to get the highest quality. It's just hard to get perfect quality on a 3D printed product. You know, there's always trade-offs. Every time you make a change, orientation or angle, et cetera, you're going to see differences in the prints. Now, hopefully my Wi-Fi is good. I put a Wi-Fi router up here on my rack. So now it's up here, so I should get decent signal in here. If it connected to that one. I've got 3 of them, so sometimes it might connect to a different one. Let's see how this is going. It's looking pretty good. Here, oh, here. Duh. Here, all I gotta do is flip the camera. So it's printing at a 45, and then over there is this, it's called the slant support. So I created that, and it's got these little tiny connectors that are like about 2 layer lines thick. It's 0.8 millimeters. And so we'll see how that turns out. It's gonna be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how hard that is to take off. And it'll be interesting to see if the quality actually turns out. And then over here, I'm testing red PETG. Now, yeah, look. See, I'm already seeing a little bit of warping on the corner. Now, that's still acceptable in my opinion. I don't think it's going to affect the print. I don't think a customer would even notice that. But I am having a little more trouble with sticking to the bed with PETG. I never really saw those issues too often with PCTG, but you know, if I can consistently get it, you know, prints coming out like this, I think I can go with that. Now, what's interesting with the supports, if you flip I've normally been printing the product 90 degrees this way, and so it like prints the supports left and right, left and right, left and right, like a longer type of thing. But if I turn it this way, it's like a ribbed looking support. I don't know if you can see it because there's like steam in there. Yeah, you can see it there. So it's a different output for the supports, which I kind of like. They're a little easier to get off, so I could continue to print that way. This print's almost over with. Yeah, it's got 50 more layers. It's still 30 minutes long. This thing's a beast. This is my 3-gang toggle switch shelf. I don't have this listed yet. I have one that's, I don't know if it's over here, but it's somewhere. I've got one almond one that's perfectly printed. This one had some corner warping, so I can't even take photos of it. Let's see here. Yeah, you can kind of see. Let's see if I get the angle right. It's kind of hard to see, but let's see here. Yeah, you can kind of see the corner there, how it's bent. So yeah, this is a throwaway essentially, but I do like the color, like I said, of this white. It looks good. A little bit of material that I use for that, but I'm learning like how this PETG works. I'm still kind of experimenting with, you know, getting that bed temperature just right. That was at 85 degrees C, and then I went up to 90, and that seems to be doing the trick. So we'll see how that goes. It's all a process, you know, trying to figure out exactly how to dial in, you know, the 3D prints that you want to do. So, hey, what's up, Bromo? Hey, Dan, when you print stuff and the product doesn't come out smooth, or when you break away the supports and the plastic remains rough, how do you make it smooth? Oh, I mean, I can show you. Here, I'll bring you back in there. I have been using the heat gun when well, I'll show you kind of like what the problems I do see sometimes. So if you've got a bamboo printer, yeah, let me go up a little bit ways. All right. If you have a bamboo printer, you get, let's see here. I've got one here. Yeah, you'll get, it's not exactly a razor blade, but you'll get this little, oh, that's not it. That's the cutter. I don't know. You'll get this little blade, and you can make a print with this blade. And it's like, I think they call it the bed scraper. I would never scrape my bed with it, but I guess you can use it under a print and just kind of lift a print off the bed. But I use it to scrape my product. So I'll take, like I just printed this black one, and it's got supports in here. You can kind of see the lines a little bit. That's why I'm trying to do this 45. But I'll get this thing and just slightly scrape off, you know, the supports and pry them up. And then I'll take a heat gun. You know, I got a heat gun right here, ready to rock and roll, and just heat inside there. And it gets rid of the marks for the most part. I mean, you could, if you look real close and put a flashlight there, you can still see them. But from, you know, I mean, I guess if you had a customer that was real picky, they might return it. What else do I use? I use this little guy here, this little, you know, you shave off corners, try to smooth things out. Again, especially for black, if you do that, you'll get like kind of a white color. You'll discolor the black, and so I use the heat gun, and it turns it back to the shiny black color that you expect. As far as the back goes, I do get, I have supports here on the back, and I'll use this scraper and scrape off just the sharp little support things there. You know, and sometimes, I mean, I also use this file. I have one file I always use on my modules. So I have these real tiny little shelves on the modules, and I just take the file and just go zip, zip, zip. And I don't use the heat gun after that because I don't really need to. It doesn't really show any marks or anything. But yeah, I use this file a decent amount. I've used probably the round file once or twice occasionally. You know, maybe it might work too. And then I would use the heat gun if it makes a color discoloration, right? But hopefully that answers your question. I'm sure there's probably other YouTube videos out there that probably explain how to resolve your prints. I got another little trick. Find some paint that matches your 3D print. If you got to do some touch-ups, you know, there's nothing wrong with tiny little bit of paint if it's something that kind of shows itself. So I got black and red because the black and red PCTG have problems like when you take the supports off, and they're kind of tricky. They can scratch up as well. Whites and the beiges never have problems with. They never show any scratches. They're probably there, but for some reason that colorant in filament somehow just doesn't show itself right. So I find that kind of interesting. Colorant does affect these filaments quite a bit, probably depending on how much they put in as far as a percentage goes. And so you'll find, at least for me on PCTG, I found that colorant affects supports, even just the print itself in general. You can have certain, like I have the same model and the white prints perfectly, but then sometimes the red on PCTG will have like, I don't know, just different problems, you know, like, and I'm not talking stringing either, because like a lot of people say, oh, well, maybe it's not dry, but I've dried filament before and I have the same exact problems. It's like, it's an impurity in the filament that affects its performance. So heat gun is the way to go. Yes, it is. Heat gun is your friend. I use a razor blade. Yeah, that's another one. Just a standard razor blade I've used from time to time. For the big stuff, then take fine sandpaper or a file to lightly smooth it out, then heat gun. Yep, yeah, exactly. Got to have a good heat gun for your 3D printing business, for sure. I also wanted to try ABS because I had the exhaust, the P2S exhaust kit installed on both my printers. I went through all that effort, so I figured let's try ABS. And this was the first and only print I've done in it, and it worked out really good. And I found an ABS, I think Polymaker, they make all sorts of colors in ABS. So now I kind of feel like ABS could be an option for me as well. It's just PETG. It doesn't have I think ABS is better for heat and probably chemical resistance, because I think you can acetone these and get them shiny. But again, like, I don't want to be pushing or printing a product that gives off carcinogens and chemical smells in my house too much. I don't know, my wife's kind of concerned about it. Even though I have the ventilation kit and all that, it's probably better to be safe than sorry. So I'm going to go with PETG. It's not as difficult. Well, I don't know. This was pretty easy to print with. So it does feel like not as heavy, if that makes sense. Like this, the PETG feels heavier. And I just feel like the heavier your product feels, sometimes people equate that to higher quality. So I'm going with the heavier unit. And I didn't like the color. This was from Bamboo Lab, just straight ABS white. And I didn't like this color. This was kind of like a cream white almost. Now Bamboo doesn't offer a lot of colors with ABS. They're more on like the PETG high flow standard. So, my nose is itchy. So, yeah, so I've been doing some experimentation, and I hope that that angled print, it should be done here in maybe 2 hours. I don't think I'll be on that long, but hopefully in 2 hours it comes out successfully and not like this other one that had this weird ridge here and this flaw up here. I thought that was really weird, this last little minute flaw. We'll see what happens. A lot has to do with like retractment. Like if your nozzle's retracting, I think like kind of what happened here was something here at the corner changed how the print was, or the nozzle was behaving. I'm not exactly sure what happened. It could be that this angle here, and like you're going from like a straight 45 and then it starts angling this way. Something screwed up here. I don't know what. It'll be interesting to see if it happens again. And like I said, the white might turn out just fine, but this black might behave differently because of the colorant that's in here. I'm telling you, colorant has a lot to do with 3D prints. Something about it. That's just been my experience. And then I did do the, obviously you guys might have saw the video where I enabled memberships on the channel, and I did glue this together with super glue, and it worked out well. I think this is pretty solid. I don't see this coming apart. And I do actually use it quite a bit. I carry this around if I'm taking photos of stuff. So I'll do a members only video. I don't think anyone's joined right now, but I'll do a members only video just giving the details about how to download the digital files and all that. So be on the lookout for that if you do want to join the membership. I don't know. I'm on one membership. It's a guy who watched me on YouTube for a bit. I'm on his memberships. I've never really done them before, so I didn't really start them for that reason, just because I never really felt comfortable doing them. But I figured, you know what, let's just try it. Let's try to do something new and different, and make it kind of affordable. So that's been my kind of strategy for that. Not really strategy, just more like, hey, let's try it. Why not? Let's see, what else have I been doing? Like I said, it was a busy week with school, getting out. Baseball has been real busy. We didn't have baseball tonight because we had potential thunderstorms. It did rain quite a bit today, so our baseball was canceled, unfortunately. We have 2 games next week, and then we're done with the season. I do miss it when we're done. We have a good time out there, my son and I, and he's getting really good. I'm pitching, it's machine pitch, so I put the ball in the machine. And he had one hit like 2 weeks ago that just went whizzing by my head, and I was like, woo! I was like, good thing you didn't hit me, I find, let's see here. Mini Mechanic says, I find black is a temperamental color to print with. Yeah, I think partially, one of the problems with it is it shows the most flaws, right? I can't see any of the flaws with the white sometimes. I have to look real close. But the blacks, you're definitely going to see issues. And like I said, it definitely has some weird issues here and there. And I've even seen on Danson 3D prints, if you go slower on printing, it'll be more glossy. And I think that's for every color. But I bet you have a lot of issues with black, like depending on your print speed, you might have inconsistent glossiness, I suppose, on a 3D print. So, yeah. But surprisingly, this is my, I guess, second best seller. There are people who like the black wall plates, so I'm glad I'm offering them. I'm glad I considered it. So yeah, that's been going good. So what else is going on? I didn't get my tea. Did I even pour it? Yes, I did pour it. My new favorite is the wood fiber PLA. I was looking into that the other day. They only had 2 available. Let me look right now. Let's see. I kind of want to look into that. I don't know if I'd offer that as a wall plate, wood filled, because electricity and wood, that probably doesn't go well together. Plastic is more better to deal with potential sparks. But yeah, let's see what they got here. Filaments. Is that fiber reinforced? Or is it just under PLA? I think it's under PLA. PLA wood. Let's see what's available. They got all of them available except for one of them. White oak, classic birch, clay brown. Which ones do you like? I'm curious. Do you buy them from Bamboo Lab, or do you go with like Polymaker or any of these other companies? And that one, I don't think you can, well, you can get discounts if you buy 4 or more. I think I would get the black walnut, rosewood, classic birch, and white oak. I kind of want to just buy 4 of them, spend $100, and figure out a reason to print with these products. I'm sure I could come up with something interesting. Do I want to spend the money? Forget it, man. You only live once. Add to cart. I'm going to. I was looking at these the other day. I made some money in the market, so I'm going to buy $100 worth. I can write it off, so it's all good. Maybe I'll come up with a product with it. Who knows? What do I have here in my cart? Oh, I have a chain cable, a spare chain cable. I don't think I really need that at this point. No. I've been buying extra parts for my P2Ss, but I think I went a little overboard. I don't really think I need all these parts. I've got a good amount. If something breaks, if I have to buy something on eBay, I guess I'd have to buy it at a premium. Yeah, let's go ahead and get these. And help me figure out something to print with, guys. Help me figure out something cool to make with wood-infused PLA. I'm going to come up with something. Let's do this. This will be cool. Now that they're all in, I'm going to get one of each just to see what the look and feel is. Yeah, 105 bucks. Let's see here. There we go. There we go, I got them. They're coming. Maybe I'll do a couple videos on it, you know? See if I can make something cool out of the wood-filled PLA and maybe do a video on it and talk about it and show the prints, something like that. I think that'd be kind of cool. People like that wood-filled stuff. I think it's kind of neat. Awesome. Yeah, you got me to spend 100 bucks tonight. So Dan, your go-to plastic to print is PETG, not PLA for the wall shelves. Yeah, I've been printing with PCTG, which I showed the audience a little bit ago. This is PCTG for the wall plates. Excuse me. And the reason I did that was for like thermal resistance. Like PLA can melt at, you know, kind of a hot car temperature. But PCTG's got a really high temperature to melt with. But PETG is very similar. It's like a 10-degree difference. So it's still got a higher temperature threshold than PLA. So that's why I went with PCTG. Now I'm going to kind of go to PETG because of the cost. It's like it's a 60% reduction. I'm going from $30 a kilogram down to, I can get it for between $10 and $11 a kilogram. So now that this, instead of this being $6 or $5 a print, it becomes $2 to print. So it's a $4 difference, which I think is worth the effort to print with PETG versus PCTG. You know, I don't know if this was a mistake. I think it's been a good experience learning how to print with PCTG, but you learn, right? You learn in business that you do have to have enough margin to make a business viable. In my opinion, this business is probably not viable if I keep selling at the current rate I'm selling at, meaning right now it's just onesie twosies, which it probably may remain that way for the longest time. But with the advertising spend, the shipping spend, the potential problems you can have with shipping, the potential problems you can have with prints, $5 a print is just too much, honestly. I think that I have to be at $1 to $2 a print for me to make a viable business out of this, to have hope for a viable business. Otherwise, I'm just losing money. I'm just printing for fun, and it's a charity at that point, right? I'm not trying to do a charity here. I am trying to make a little side hustle. It's not going to be $1 million side hustle. Maybe it could be a couple $1,000s a year. I'd be happy with that. You know, if I could make $2,000 to $5,000 a year extra, that's a good little side hustle, you know. I sand and paint the white oak is what I use. Cool, man, that is cool. I'm excited now. I'm gonna get one of each, try each one out, figure out what I wanna make with it. I'm not gonna like waste it. I don't wanna print it and waste it. It is expensive, $25 a kilogram material. But I wanna make something kind of nice out of it. So we'll see how that goes. So I think I'm gonna sneak upstairs and grab my tea. Sorry about that, guys. It looks like I am connected to the router down here because as soon as I went upstairs, it went off. I think I'm back on though. Hopefully my audio is fine. Router down. Yeah, yeah. Good. I got my tea. It's gonna get cold. I don't want to waste my tea. I've got a sink over here. I've got loose leaf tea, so I gotta take the thing out real quick. Let it drain in the sink. There. I got a bunch of Legos I gotta take apart here this summer. Oh, good. It's still warm. Perfect. Drinking an apple spiced black tea. Pretty good tea. I've had it for a long time. I bought like a bunch a year or two ago. I'm running low though. My teas, I'm running low because I've just been like kind of cheap about buying expensive tea lately. I don't know why, but I need to restock up. So, oh, that red print should be almost done. I need to make my bathroom bundles, or not bathroom, but my module bundles. I have a workshop bundle. I've gotten 2 sales on it, or maybe 4, I think. But I need to make a bathroom bundle and an everyday carry bundle. So like 4 modules. And I did adjust the pricing to the modules. I started them at like $3.99, but I was like, that's just kind of silly and too cheap. So I went up $1 to $4.99 for each module. One of the modules I'm charging like $6.99. It is a little more complex and adds a little bit more value. But the bundles for 4 units, I'm going to bundle them at like $12.99. That way you save like, you know, what is that, $7 instead of buying one of each. You get a bundle and you save $7. I think that's pretty reasonable. So, and I use them. I use them upstairs. I've got my sunglasses on my what do they call it? The eyewear dock. And then I've got a key hook. And then I've got a pocket. This thing, I call it the pocket dock. And I just put my phone on there that has a pop socket on the back. I don't really use the pop socket very often. I use it more for like the wallet feature. It holds like 3 credit cards in there. But it is nice. I can just set it right on my light switch and it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited to use that wood-filled, whatever you call it, filament. That'll be fun. Now with Pet G, me switching over to that, I am looking forward to see if Danson 3D Prints launches a Pet G line and if it's cost competitive with, you know, the other companies like Sunlu and whatever else. I could go to $15 a kilogram if I'm getting it from him and it's good quality. I could go to 15. I just don't want to do $30 a kilogram. It's just, I'm floating too much cash flow too. It's just like, I've ordered twice from 3D Fuel and it was like $160 each time. I'm like, I'd rather be spending around $100 on filament each time I have to reorder, not $160. So I guess I'm just being cash conscious when it comes to running a small business. So I think the garage shop organizers would be a great angle. Yeah, exactly. That's and I think I'm gonna I might adjust that workshop bundle. I might even add another module, maybe go with 5, add a little more value because they're really cheap to print. They cost me like 15 cents to print each one. But it's a way for me to build my business, to still make a little extra money if they include the bundles together. I might even bundle a wall plate with the workshop bundle or a wall plate with the bathroom bundle. You know, that kind of combination. You pick your color, you pick your bundle that you want for, you know, $29.99. Get $10 more out of the sale. versus a la carte, which is always more expensive. In any business that you shop at, a la carte is always more expensive. If you buy one item, you're going to pay the maximum price. But if you bundle things together, which is what we need to do as business owners, that's what you got to do. So I'm going to work, I got to focus more on the bundle aspect of my business. I haven't done a ton of focus on that. I've just been focused on creating product, just designing and making stuff. But I think I'm getting to the point now where I've got enough in my arsenal that I can position products in certain ways that will hopefully generate a larger revenue per sale. That's the key. I don't know if that's the right term, revenue per sale, dollar per sale, whatever it is. You got to get that higher. You got to be like for me, the orders I get that are like $40 and above, I feel good about. Like I'm like, oh, I'm making some decent profit. Maybe it's like $30, right? That's pretty decent for an order. But when you're making $10, it feels a little different. It's like, okay, I'm going through this work. I got to fulfill this, for $5 or $10. It's like, but that's business for you. You got to support all your customers no matter what they're buying. They're buying from you because they value what you're making. So you got to appreciate it no matter what. Yes, $30 a kilo is rough. Profit margins, yes. Mini mechanic, you're right. Profit margins matter. If you want to keep a business healthy, if you want to grow it, if you want to hire anyone someday, you better have some decent profit margins, or else you're going to go broke, right? And the problem is, people take out loans for businesses. Think about that. And if they have crappy margins, they're just bleeding money, and then they've got a loan they got to pay back. Forget that. I'm going to keep things tight, bootstrap my business with my own money, not take any loans, and that's just my strategy. And so I'm gonna run it. I think I've ran it pretty decent. I haven't been sloppy, but I haven't been extreme about trying to squeeze the margin, because to get more margin, you have to spend more time typically R&Ding, like trying different filaments out, trying different print angles out. I remodeled that support. That's a manual support that I modeled in with the actual model of the plate. And so that'll be interesting to see if it works. I hope it does. So 100%, yep. Mini mechanic, you're right. Just curious, do you print any products like Brent does? Brent does these battery mounted stuff. Are you doing the wood filament as a product, and then you're like sanding it down and doing something really cool with it? Yeah, let us know. And I was telling Brent that I was considering doing like maybe product reviews on my channel just to show somebody's 3D print. Now, I'm not like some big YouTuber that can do the fanciest things, and I don't have a huge audience, but it could be a way to kind of just share each other's projects and prints with the community, and then we can talk about each other's stuff. I think that'd be a cool thing to do. So I'm considering doing that. I've got an email, Dan at It's a Wealthy Life, or Daniel at TechtimeCreations.com, and both those emails work. And so if you guys are interested, let me know. I'll do a review. Not negative review, just more like, okay, what do you want me to talk about the product? Like, what's the intent of the product? We can talk about what angles you want me to take of the product, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe for like 50 or $100, just something simple like that. I can easily do a draft order on my website and just be able to make a payment and all that. So we could do that. So, oh yeah, you're in the RC body printer. Okay. Just offer STL for sale. Oh, cool. Awesome. So are you doing the wood stuff for, was it you that you were doing the wood stuff, right? Yeah. Just for fun, for kind of things you're making? Or do you do that for some of the RC stuff? Yeah, I think you said you have a huge RC collection or something like that on the last live stream, if I remember. Oh. All right, let's go check on the prints, see what's going on. Oh yeah, here's my three, I'm intending to take photos of this. Maybe I'll mount it to my little presentation board. Maybe I'll do that next. Something to do while we're live streaming. It's always good to be a little productive, right? So I've got my presentation board right here. It's got the 3-gang light switches, so I got that all ready to go. I just got to mount. I'll mount that one first, and then each one after that. Ooh, we're almost done here. I think it's on probably, let's see here, layer 771 of 772. Hey, let's check this thing finish out. I love that last layer, you know? Nice and smooth. And let's see what's going on over here. Oh, I don't know if that's good or bad. I see some stringing in there. We'll see. Could be, maybe that's just a snag there in the cavity. We'll see. We'll keep it going. You know, hopefully it'll turn out pretty well. So, but this one is almost done. I always like it when I get a print done successfully. Especially this big monster, this 3-gang wall plate. This thing takes 200 grams of PETG material. I am going to sell this for $24.99. I could go to $29.99, but I don't know. I just want to make sales. So, and if I've got this down to $2, I sell it for $24.99, and they pay for $3.99 in shipping, I think I'm doing pretty decent. So I'm going to go with that. I'm trying to yeah, I really can't take a photo here. This corner messed up, but I could. I probably can. I probably might just take a photo of the almond and then just use AI or Photoshop and color it white. I don't really feel like printing another one of these, but we'll see. I haven't decided yet. Here we go. Sweet. All done. I think I like this red. Looks like it turned out pretty good though. Nice and fresh 3D print. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Only just a tiny bit of warping there, but that's still fine. That's not a big deal. But this is just too much. This was like way bunch of warping there. I couldn't sell that. I don't even want to take a photo of it. It's pretty sad. Maybe I'll put it somewhere that I've got 3 wall switches somewhere. I don't know. But looking at this red, I want to compare it with this red. I think it's slightly different, but feel this. It's a little warm. I'm going to let that cool down before I take it off. But overall, let's see here. It's awfully close. Honestly, I don't see any reason why. Yeah, that's close enough. That does not have to matter. I actually kind of like this red a little bit better. So I think I'm going to go with this for sure. Now that one's not as cheap. I couldn't find, I don't think they offer this red for like $11.50 because you can't buy it in bulk. They only sell it in 1 kilogram spools. But this is still only like $16 versus $30, right? So I can still offer this for the same price. It's just I'm not making as much margin. It is what it is. So I'm happy with that, really happy. Turned out really good too. I like that. Yeah, that's cool. I can't wait to put that one up on the website too. I like these little wall plates, or the light switch shelves. I mean, the only issue with that is, you know, when you go to turn on the lights, you kind of like, you're so used to like just flipping the lights from the bottom, like way from the bottom. But you kind of get used to it. I got one hanging in my daughter's room, and she has the pocket dock on the front. She's got a hook for necklaces, and she stores like a book in there and a pen that she uses all the time. I don't know. It's great. It's great for families, you know, that have a lot of little nooks and crannies, or a lot of little things to store. That's what's great about them. just checking this. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna see if this works. Yeah, it still looks good. I think that was just a one string that's in the cavity. Who knows what happened there, but you know, with the razor blade, you chop it off, it might not even make a big impact. Again, these are just test prints. We'll see how consistent they are with PETG. I think it'll be okay. Like I said, I've got like, what is this, like 4 or 5 good successful prints. That red one back there is a good one. So again, I think I'm pretty confident I am going to move forward with this material. You know, and I can always go back to PCTG if PETG is not, you know, doing what I want it to do. But I think I'll be okay. So let's see here. Yeah, wood PLA is light and prints beautifully. Awesome, man. I'm excited to do something there. I just got to figure out what I want to do. Maybe I could do something with this game table of mine. You know, it's got this little notch down here for like cup holders, even though I'm not using one. I probably should. Maybe I could do something with this notch. It'd be kind of fun. Just for me personally, you know. Do you have the Decora design plates? Yes, I do. I've got Decora, Duplex, and Toggle. Those are the 3 ones I support. I have the 2-gang Duplex and Toggle. I don't have a 2-gang Decora yet. I'll probably have to do that next. So, but yeah, and they are selling, like I said, pretty decent. I've sold maybe 20 or so sales on Etsy and my website combined. So, gotta go. Cheers, boys. I'll tune in on the next one. Yeah, thanks, Mini Mechanic. I appreciate it, man. Jack in the shop. So people are buying these? Yep, people are. I'm getting, I'm averaging like 1 sale a week, sometimes 2 sales a week on Etsy. Mostly, probably 90% of my customers are female. I think I've had like maybe 3 male sales. The rest are female. I think they use them for like their kids and maybe their bathrooms, you know, a lot of little things that they got to store. So, what about you, Jack in the shop? Are you a 3D printer as well? What do you make? Let us know. All right, let's see what else I got to do here. Let's see. I've got my card here. I might go ahead and take photos of the bathroom bundle and the everyday carry bundle. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. These are easy photos to take. Because I'm just going to take a photo of all 4 products, kind of in an arch. And yeah, I think that'll work. I've already got photos of all the rest of the products individually, which I can just put into the offering or the listing. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Why not? Could be something to do while we live stream. Photos, I tell you what, I do more photos than the 3D printing. I think I go in like these waves where I'll do, you know, like right now I'm kind of in the middle of trying to improve my 3D print. So like I'm busy 3D printing, but like I think the majority of the time that you're going to spend, if you're trying to build a business, if you're not, that's okay too. If you're trying to build a business, you're going to spend a lot of time on photography, especially if you want to make sales, right? I'm trying different things on Etsy. And I don't know what's working better. Just regular photos of these plates mounted in my house. Those seem to do really well. And then I've got like AI photos that I take where it shows a scene and then I take a real photo and I place it on that scene in Photoshop. It's hard to say, you know, it's like, and you don't know how the Etsy algorithm is actually showing these. So it's really difficult to know. A lot of it's based on keywords, but the clicks are based on your photos, so I think that's pretty important to consider. But I'm getting hits on both of them, so I don't think it's all... it's really hard to know which way to do it. It probably depends on the market too. Let me see how much battery I got on this thing. Yeah, I got battery. Sweet. Awesome. All right, I'm going to take you guys in and I'm going to get some modules so I can maybe do these photos of these bundles because I need to get on the bundles. It's not like people are buying these things, these modules, but you never know. You got to, if you don't make it, you'll never know. So I've got, these are where I store all my modules. So I've got my balm dock. Yeah, and I do one of each color. So I got my, I'm just going to take all these together. So I got the balm dock. I got the toothbrush holder. Do I have a white one? I might have thrown out my white one. Though I had some prints that were no good. So I definitely need these two. Let's see, do I have? I just don't have the white one. I'm going to find it. I think I'm going to grab it out of my, because I think I just threw them in the garbage here the other day. It's all plastic in here. It's not dirty. There we go. Found it. It's just, it just has this one little spot that doesn't make it mount right. So I threw it out because I don't want to ship it on accident, but I'll take it for a photo because it's the exact same product. It's just one thing is different about it. But then I'll throw it out after I'm done taking photos. I should print more of them and probably use one. All right, so I got these two. Balm dock. I could do 2 balm docks with the bundle and the toothbrush. I could do 2 toothbrushes and 2 balm docks. Maybe I could do 2 of each and one of these, I don't know if that makes sense. These pocket docks. Might have, oh, I got the white, my black one is upstairs. I got to print another black one. Maybe I'll start one up, actually. What is that? Yeah, I could just use some PCTG, that's fine. Maybe I'll print another one in a minute. That's the thing, I got to figure out what I want to offer for the bathroom bundle. Do sunglasses make sense? Maybe the hooks, because you put jewelry on those. I might offer a hook. Yeah, maybe I'll just do one of each. The pocket dock, the key hook, the balm dock, and the brush, the toothbrush holder. Maybe all 4 of those. That might work. I only got 3 here. I got my, see a black one upstairs. I need to make more of these things. Always got to think of all these things to make. It's crazy. Got a lot going on here. Yeah, I don't think I have any more in there. Maybe I'll make the key hook and the pocket dock all at the same time. Let's see here. I mainly CNC router and laser engraver. Okay, cool. I have 4 lasers, 2 CNC routers, CNC plasma, and 5 3D printers. I don't sell as much 3D prints. I want to get into it more. Okay. Wow, man, you got a pretty cool shop. That's awesome. That's kind of exciting. 2 old Ender 2 original printers I got 7 years ago. X1C I got 4 years ago, and a Snapmaker U1 about 4 weeks ago. Okay. Mainly sell particle prints, CNC work, hold clamps I designed. Oh, that's cool. Jack in the shop, do you sell much with your CNC products? What is the particle print? A little, mainly on Etsy. My target is power line construction lineman. Wow, that's cool. A particle is a typo. Oh, okay. Ender 3, another typo. Okay, yeah, I gotcha. A couple typos there, no big deal. That's cool, man. That's cool. You got some neat things you're making. It's not easy, is it? You know, running a business. I'm assuming maybe it's your side hustle or something, or is it a full-time gig? Let's see here. Do I have everything I need? Yeah, I got a few things. I got enough to take a few photos here and there. So I'm kind of different probably than most live streamers that don't move around. They probably sit at their desk. I just like to do stuff and get stuff done. So I'm going to offer, yeah, over here is my pocket dock. So I'm thinking the bathroom bundle, I'm just going to go with these four. Is going to be the pocket dock, the balm dock for lip balm or chapstick, and then the key hook. So just for holding, I guess, maybe small jewelry, necklaces, keys, maybe even in your bathroom. I don't know. And then the toothbrush holder. So now the toothbrush holder is essentially the same thing as the balm dock, just taller, okay, for a toothbrush. I haven't printed these things in PETG yet. We'll see how they turn out. So let's see here. How do I want to arrange this? Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have the balm dock and the... I'll show you guys in here what I'm doing when I get a different color in here, because white isn't going to show up good on that camera. The exposure gets totally blown out. All right, there we go. Gotta get it perfect. Again, I don't know what I'm doing with this stuff, I'll be honest. I try my best. That's not gonna, I need that key ring to look there. It's gotta look sideways so you can kind of see what it is. That looks good. All right, and then we'll do almond next. And I've only got 3 colors for the key ring, so I'd have to go back upstairs and get my black one if I do want to take a color. And this one has this one printed bad, this almond, but I can probably fix that with Photoshop. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Here, I'll show you guys. Hopefully this don't blind you. There it is. Yeah, so I just take a photo with all 4 together so you know what you're getting, kind of what's included, that kind of thing. So pretty simple. You know, for these little modules, I'm not like trying to tell a gigantic story or scene. It's just like, you know, take a, you know, the listings have, I don't know, maybe 5 to 7 photos. I try not to go crazy on these modules. I think they're very simple products, very self-explanatory. It holds a toothbrush, you know, it's not like you're trying to tell a story on holding toothbrushes, you know, one of those things. I think people get it, you know, you're not trying to sell them the world for a $4.99 product, right? It's like, it's just a little accessory that can, you know, maybe improve your life a little bit. You know, maybe it gives you a spot for your phone or a spot for your chapstick, because you lose your chapstick, right? You leave your chapstick in your pants pocket, then your wife washes them because she never checks it, and then you got grease all over your clothes, right? So maybe the Balm Doc saves you the headache of your wife washing your chapstick in your pants. I don't know. Hey, I'm just trying to sell you guys on this, right? All right, there's that. All right, so I don't have, my daughter has the pink hook, so I got to print a pink. I don't even care about the pink right now. It's not even a big deal. I don't even care to sell it at this point because I haven't gotten any sales. But I'm still going to support it, so I will take a photo of it. So I need the black. Excuse me. Oh, my black Balm Docs are up in my bathroom. All right, so I got 3. I got to take more of these. Here, I'm just going to set the ones I need in here. Take these other ones out because I'm done with those. I did print a bubblegum pink one for my daughter. She's got a couple of different, she's got some Balm Docs in this bubblegum hot pink, I guess you could call it. Fuchsia pink, I think. So yeah, I print one of those. And which other one did I need? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I need the black and the black. Okay. I'll have to go upstairs later and get that stuff and take photos of that. And then the everyday carry bundle, I'm going to do, I've got these sunglass holders. I got this guy. This is a little, I call it the cozy cradle. It's just this little tool here with a tiny little slot here for like sunglasses, for like little flashlights, anything kind of with a clip that you can hold to it. You can also fit calipers in here if they're small enough. Mine are small enough, they fit this. But I might make even a bigger one, we'll see. And then I'll put this in the everyday carry for your cell phone, Pocket Doc cell phone. And I've also got a dedicated sunglass one, which maybe I'll get those out next. Then I was gonna make something else. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Maybe I might design a, I'm gonna turn that off because it's really bright. I might design a razor module. That's gonna be an easy one to make, I think. I might actually use this design. I mean, to be honest, I think this might work for a razor. I might actually just test it out just to see. But it's going to be something similar to this. So I might have to hold off on the bathroom bundle because I thought about it the other day. I'm like, I need the razor one. So let's see here. Let's see here. Dan, I'm surprised you are hoping for 5K a year side hustle profit for the amount of time and energy you put into this. Is it worth it? You know, it's a great question. I'm not like, I guess that's my expectations, is that I know how hard business is. And I've seen other YouTubers that are selling quite a bit of 3D prints. And, you know, I see them at like $7,000, maybe $10,000. I don't know how long they've been in business for, but you know, first year, I think 5,000 would be pretty decent. Am I hoping to stay at 5,000? No, I think I'd like to get to 10 to 20,000, maybe 30,000. I think that'd be a pretty nice side hustle. Now, if it doesn't grow to more than 5,000 a year, yeah, I'd be disappointed and probably done. I mean, I sold $5,700 in put options last week on ServiceNow. So like, you know, $5,000 isn't going to change my life, but, you know, side hustle is a side hustle. YouTube is a side hustle. I do YouTube for, I'm making around $200 a month, which is only, what is that? $2,400 a year. Is it worth it to me? I really like YouTube. I don't believe I'm doing it for the money or to go full time at it. This is kind of the same thing. It's more of a hobby business. I'd like to make $10,000 to $20,000, $30,000, and I'm trying hard to get to that point, but I'm setting my expectations at a reasonable level that is realistic for someone who's never done this. Is this a viable business that's 10 grand, 20 grand a year? I don't know. I have no clue. So I sell a lamp made with a house watt meter. The meter spins when the light's on. Oh, cool. I also have a night light catch-all tray. Awesome. Uses a small LED bulb and a glass insulator as a lamp globe. Nice. I see a lot of custom engraved knives. I could see that too. I work for Pike Electric, so I do this on the side. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see here. Jack in the shop, do you think you have enough business if you wanted to spin it off as your main gig and quit your main job? Jack goes, 100% no. Yep, you don't quit your day job. That I've told people that on my channel in the past, never quit your day job. It's very difficult to replace a day job. I mean, I'd have to be selling a lot of product to be able to replace my day job. So I don't plan on doing it. This is just a hobby business. It's fun. I like sharing my creations with the community. I like sharing it with people who, what's cool is like somebody took a product I made and installed it in their house. I think that's pretty cool. I do worry a little bit about the liability, but it's just a wall plate. I'm not really that concerned about it. Just a little. I'm working on growing it though. Yep, exactly. It's like compounding in the stock market. I've said this before, even on this live stream. Building a business, no matter what it is, whether it's 3D printing, CNC machine work, each year or each month, you make an improvement, right? You make a new listing. You make your product better. Maybe you make a total redesign, whatever it is you're compounding what you own each and every month or each and every year. Maybe this year you only make 5 grand. Next year you make 7 grand. The year after that you make 10 grand. And that next year, everything you've invested in, maybe it's your printers or whatever, tooling, that's been paid for, right? That's a capital expense. It's gone now. It's not included in your next year's expenses. And so hopefully that gets better and better and better. And each year you're able to keep more of the money that you more of the revenue that you're generating, you get to keep more for yourself. So hopefully that compounding effect works just like the stock market. It is the exact same thing. Not much different there. It's like money makes money. Well, same thing in business. Every step you take that adds value to your business, hopefully that compounds itself, right? So just not sure how to do that. Yeah, growing it though, yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. You got to try different markets. I think that's one part that a lot of us struggle with. I'd love to get into Amazon, but I just haven't had time. If I'm seeing growth in Etsy and I'm seeing growth in these products, I don't want to waste my time in the Amazon market until I figure out the most value I can bring to the Etsy market because it's working for me. I don't want to stop that momentum, right? And so I'm dialed into that market right now. Maybe later on, I'll go to Amazon and figure out what that market's like. Is it even worth it, right? Maybe these plates are worthless in that market. Maybe my bathroom products would sell like hotcakes. I have no clue, Or maybe it's TikTok. Maybe that's the next market I need to focus in on. That's how you grow your business. It's hard though. Let's see here. Jack says, not sure if my niche is too tight or if there is just not enough demand in that area. Yep. How long have you been selling, Jack? Actively Etsy shop is 3 years old. Congrats, man, dude. That's great that you're sticking with it and you're trying to grow it each and every year. So I'm about 10,000 a year. That's a good little side hustle. 10,000 a year in revenue. I don't know what your margins are, but maybe you take home 5 of that. 5 grand is a a decent little nice vacation a year. That's something that you're not putting on a credit card. That's something that you're not spending out of your bank account, right? That's extra money going to you. Whether or not you use it on a vacation, maybe you use it on reinvesting in your business, probably a new CNC machine or a new 3D printer or whatever it is you feel will add more value to the business. That's that compounding effect, right? Reinvest in your business. You probably don't want to spend it on a vacation, but it's extra money. $5,000 is $5,000, you know, and like I said, I make a lot more money in my day job and in stock trading. But to me, $5,000 is still good money. There's nothing wrong with that. OMG, C equals sell. Yeah, something about selling, you're saying. Yeah, sell, sell, sell. That's business. I don't know many businesses that don't have a lot of salespeople that are successful. You know, if you've only got engineers, you don't have marketing and sales and advertising, you're going to struggle to make money unless you have some remarkable product that just hits where what everyone wanted, that just sells like hotcakes. It's just not the reality, you know. You got to sell a vision or a story, and it's hard to convey out there, and it's expensive. You got to use these platforms. They control the airwaves, as I call them. And they control what people see on their screens, and it's hard to compete because you got to pay them, unfortunately. Just this year, I started separating the funds and set up a company credit card and bank account. Yeah, I haven't done that as well. I know that you're doing that. That's awesome. I do keep track of my expenses, receipt by receipt, even though I'm using the same personal credit card. I don't need to do an export with my credit card because I just keep track of every receipt. I have a whole printout over there in my workshop that's this thick of everything I've bought. And I just did a reconcile of my latest receipts from Amazon, Bamboo Lab, 3D Fuel, and Menards, which are physical receipts. And I'm up to date. I've got every expense so far, and then the only thing I got to figure out is kind of how the revenue side comes in through Shopify and through Etsy. I got to like figure out kind of how I'm going to do that. I think it's pretty easy. They give you a real clear summary at the end of the year as far as what your income is. I'm also going to be I'm not going to include my YouTube revenue on the company's balance sheet, but it's an LLC, so it's just a pass-through entity, so it all comes through as income, and I can still write it all off through my Tecton Creations company. So I kind of think of the YouTube income as part of the 3D printing business because it is now focused primarily on 3D printing. I don't know. Whenever I talked about the stock market, it just didn't work. The algorithm did not care what I had to say about the stock market. And that's okay. I mean, the sad thing is that I did a video and I compared AMD with NVIDIA on taking the Pepsi challenge. You know, the Pepsi challenge, Coke versus Pepsi, that they did back in the 1980s. And I asked the question, are you taking the Pepsi challenge? Are you investing in AMD versus NVIDIA? And that was a year ago when AMD was trading at $77 a share. And it's trading at $500 a share. And it's like, YouTube, you only showed that to 230 people. Come on, you know. You show all these other videos to, you know, all the other garbage that's out there. I'm not going to go into that, but that's the sad thing, is like people who know what they're doing, who actually give a suggestion, it goes nowhere in YouTube land. They'd rather you lose money in the stock market and go viral on that, which is what I did, than actually give a good sound advice. There you go. That's how it goes. I have not, oh, you don't have an LLC yet? Yeah, I did start an LLC right away, so I am separating that out from that perspective, but I got to keep track of all my receipts. Are you going to do an LLC? I imagine you probably will. $10,000 a year? I think you should. My YouTube is not monetized yet. How many subscribe? Do you have a YouTube channel? Jack in the Shop. Let me check it out. Let's check it out. I got to open up a YouTube tab here. Here, I better turn my volume down just in case something comes out. Let's see here. Jack in the Shop. I think I found it. 1.6 subscribers. Cool. Check it out here. Oh, you got a live stream here? Awesome, awesome. That's cool. That you did with other collaborators? Oh, this is cool, man. I'll definitely sub here. That's cool. 3D printed dust shoe. Ooh, cool. Custom coasters. Yeah, if you guys are into maker stuff, Jack in the Shop, it looks pretty cool. I'll check it out. Free CAD learning as I go. I'm just scrolling through your stuff. Oh, I see you got a caliper there in this one. There we go. I'm just scrolling down here. Cool, man. Yeah, I'll check this out. This is awesome. Let's check your channel out. Oh, you got a 15K view. That was 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Laser engraving. Yeah, all your big views were years ago. You were close to monetization 4 to 5 years ago with a 15K, 14K, 10K. Very close. Let's see there. Then latest, 101, 366. Yeah, you got to get back to what was pushing your views here. Yeah, you got one that's 500 here. 3D printing. I'm telling you, 3D printing in YouTube is hot right now. 3D printing a custom fridge magnet name tag. Yeah, you did a Fusion 360 and Bamboo Studio all in one. Yeah, YouTube's hard. I mean, it's like you want to do what's fun, like what you feel like vibing with. You have a lot more going on here than I do. You got like more tools than I do. So, you know, unfortunately, I feel like YouTube penalizes you for having such versatility for some reason. But if people are vibing with you and they like everything you're doing and you don't care, that's what matters. I mean, I just have fun doing it, and that's all you should too. And eventually you'll probably find something that hits and you'll blow up. You know, you got definitely a lot of things going on that probably will people will find interesting for sure. So I got 1,600 subs and only 1,000 watch hours. I do not do regular videos, and the ones I do are not good quality. I'll have to watch that to see if I'll give you some advice to improve. You know, if I can come up with anything. I'm not that good at it, I'll be honest. Brent says, I don't have the confidence to do YouTube. I hear you. It's not easy. It takes a little bit of time to figure out if that's really for everyone or for you. It's not for everyone. Jack in the Shop, I just added you, subscribed. You and I are the same. I do CNC and 3D printing. Awesome. Yeah, Bromo is in another 3D printer, live streamer / YouTuber. He's got a channel called, why am I forgetting it? It's Off the Bench. Off the Bench. D-A Bench, I think. Or Off the Bench, let me think. I don't remember what it's exactly called. Let's see here. Off the Bench, I think it is. Off the Bench. No, I think it is with a D. Yeah, it's Off the Bench, D-A. His name is Chris, and I'm on his live streams every now and then. Like I'll catch his live streams. I think he does them on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, and he's great. He's got a nice print farm in his basement. He's up in Grand Rapids, just north of me, and he's just going to town. I think he partners with other companies like overseas as well, and even local here in Michigan, and he just prints for them as a contractor, middleman essentially, and he's doing well, man. He's got great insights. He's got great processes at his shop down in the basement. He's full time. So that's a good channel to check out. Off the Bench. That's where I've seen Bromo hanging out at sometimes. Brent just subscribed too. Hey, you're going to get more hours. And I will say that when you're first starting out with YouTube, if you want to be monetized, it is helpful sometimes if you're in the right spaces. Like if you're in spaces that are into maker spaces like mine and others that there are other makers at, and if you're collaborating in those live streams, you're going to get subscribers that actually watch your videos. You don't want to go in a space where you're collaborating and people share your channel and then people don't watch your channel. I made that mistake early. It wasn't like I was trying to do that, but sometimes I would get involved in like a space that probably wasn't in the finance space, and I got probably a few subscribers that didn't help my channel. Because if people don't watch your content and they're subscribed, the algorithm will kind of not push your videos out further and further because your subscribers aren't watching. Why would anyone else watch? So you got to be careful about that. But I think people here would definitely check out your channel. So Dan, you are in Michigan. So many 3D print people in Michigan. I used to work in Windsor, Ontario. Well, yeah, this is the Motor City capital, right? Yeah, I mean, I've been around machinery my whole life. My dad is in 3D modeling as well. But before that, he was a machinist, worked on the machine shop floor, cutting out aluminum and steel on what are called bridge ports, these big, huge drills that you take. It's like a human-sized drill, and you take there's a little paddle that you drill down, and you adjust the X, Y, and Z axis, similar to 3D printing. And I worked with my dad for one summer at a startup company, and we bought these bridge ports on auction. And I had to sand them all and spray paint them all, so I learned doing that. I also worked on the bridge port for a few years. So mechanical stuff has always been a Michigan type of thing. It's kind of in our blood here. And so I did a little bit of work with him. I never worked on the CNC machine, but it was in there, so I've seen them working. I've seen lathes working as well. I never used one. I'd like to explore that, and I'd like to explore a CNC machine someday, but I don't have the space. Maybe someday if I could get an office / workshop, if I can ever get this 3D printing business off, I'd like to have an office and move to an office workshop where I could buy a CNC machine or a lathe as well. So it'd be kind of fun. Warhawk, hey, nice to have you on the live stream, man. I feel that one of the mistakes that people make is getting into printing without being able to do the maintenance and repair. I tend to agree with you. Some people are afraid of taking apart computer mechanical products. And I think there's a guy that he's got a 3D printing physical brick and mortar store. I can't remember the name of the channel. I'm sure you guys are probably on it. Out in Oklahoma somewhere. And that's what he does, is he sells filament in his store. He sells 3D prints, resin prints as well. But then he also does 3D print machine repair. So it's like, I find it interesting that, I guess if you're only just printing, Flexi Dragons for fun for your kids, you might not want to get into the maintenance. But if you're in the business of it, you probably should be willing to take apart your 3D printer. That's just my take. But yeah, Jordan, the print stop. Yeah, he's out in Nebraska. He's cool. He's got a great little thing going there, and I'm excited for him. Hopefully he grows that business and expands his little franchise to other cities. But that's not easy, man. That's awfully risky. CNCs are so cheap now. Yeah, and I wonder, and maybe you could answer this, can you create a 3D model, and does it apply similarly to a CNC machine as it does a 3D printer? Is it a similar process as far as making a product similar to 3D printing? Let me know. I know it's a lot messier. You got coolant and stuff in there going on, and you got metal shavings you got to deal with. I know how that kind of goes, but it's been a while since I've been around a CNC machine. My second CNC was 3D printed and used a Makita Palm router. Huh. Okay. My second CNC was 3D printed. Really want to get a CNC router. I have a company that I make parts for that wants me to get one and make signs, but working in a 2-bedroom apartment is hard. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you need the space, right, for a CNC router for sure. Yes, it is similar. So Jack says it's similar to the 3D printing modeling process. So that's cool. DIY workshop projects. He's looking to getting one as well. That's cool. It looks like we're all going down the same path. 3D printers, CNC machines, and maybe a lathe. I've always wanted to explore having a lathe. I think that'd be kind of cool. Check out the MP CNC. Okay, mostly printed CNC. Okay, I'm going to check that out. MP CNC. Okay. Oh, wow. This is an inexpensive CNC platform. The mostly printed CNC. Here, I'll show you guys this thing. Yeah, let me angle that down. That's pretty cool. Huh. So you can 3D print those components, some of them. That is interesting. I do have a third garage that just has a lawnmower in it. That'd be kind of fun. And just mount it to a bench. That's what this is doing. That's what this is. You just mount it to a bench top. All components are easily sourced, or you can buy the parts from the site. Okay, cool. The bundle has all the hardware, electronics, and Jackpot CNC control board for $301 plus shipping. If international, okay. 20 foot of conduit, around $12. Okay. Plastic parts, filament, $35. 2 spools. If not, buy the parts here for $165. I'd probably just buy the parts. Okay, so you got to buy a tool like a Makita or a Cobalt for the cutting. Okay. Total cost if you have a 3D printer under $450 to $577 if you buy the part. Okay. So ballpark $600. A little less if you got a 3D printer. Maybe I would print it all. That'd be kind of fun. Okay. Yeah, this is cool. It's probably a nice entry into the CNC world where it's fairly cost effective, small footprint, right? Yeah, that's pretty neat. I will have to check that out a little bit more. I'm favoriting that one. I don't know if my wife wants me to get into that. Then I'm going to be spending time out in the garage making a big mess. I was talking about I have a spot in the garage where I could probably put a side bench along with this other bench that's already there. Maybe I should look into doing that. It doesn't, unfortunately, there was no electricity run to that location. Maybe I could just have an electrician come in and do that. I'd like to get a couple outlets up there in this corner in my garage. I could run electricity, but I don't really know how to snake it through walls. So maybe that's an option though, something to explore. I used the Bauer Harbor Freight router for $75. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Warhawk says, doing 3D printing for flea markets and trading card shows, but thinking about adding either sublimation or DTS. Printing is a good pairing with 3D printing. Okay. That's cool. Do you do printing parts for trading card holders and stuff like that? That's a good idea. I still have my old trading cards from when I was a kid. I should bust those out. Show them on the channel. I've got Garbage Pail Kids. I have like football and baseball cards from the 1980s. I have some like basketball from the 1990s, the Michael Jordan era, Scottie Pippen. I've got these other kind of demented cards like Dinosaur Attack. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. Let's see what else. Yeah, Garbage Pail Kids. Got a bunch of other cards. I don't remember them all. It's been a long time since I looked through those. I've got some old comics too from the 1980s and 90s when I was a kid. I still kept them all. So I don't know if I plan on selling them. Maybe give them to my kids. Let them sell them, I guess. Some of those comics, though, they can be worth some pretty good money. Yeah, I used to like to collect cards and all that. Now I'm into Legos. I haven't been doing Legos very often, but I got to go through and take all these Legos down, put them in boxes, get them sorted, wash them probably. Some of them are pretty dusty from being in my office. And then when I get them put away, then I can go back and maybe make a few new sets I've been wanting to do. I've got these couple sets over here that I need to do. I've got, this one's not official Lego, but my wife got me it for Christmas, I think. Good old Short Circuit Johnny number 5. Now this one, I don't even know what, I think this is like some this is not even Mattel. This is like some Chinese brand or something like that, but it'll be fun. We'll have fun doing it. And then I got to do the Game Boy, the classic Game Boy. I have the Nintendo one up in my office, and I have the Atari 2600, which I played as a kid. So I got to have the Game Boy as well. I do have an original Game Boy. I don't know where it is. It's in my office somewhere. It still works. I played it the other day, and pretty fun. My son, he plays like Game Boy games on the Nintendo Switch too. You can buy certain games that give you like a collage of Game Boy games and other games, so that's pretty cool. He likes to play Ninja Turtles. That's what he's playing right now. Yes, doing stands for and whatnot, making stands customized to teams and for people upon request. Plus doing Pokemon stuff that'll go along with sports cards. To be honest, Pokemon's hotter than sports. 100%. My kids love Pokemon. We play the game. I like playing the game. It is pretty fun. I do have a little bit of a Pokemon, a couple like, sets that I play with for playing against them. So, because we do play the game, it is kind of fun. We're not like collectors as far as like trying to get the rarest cards or whatever. We like the cards that you can upgrade to the level 2 or whatever it is. I can't remember how that all works, but I don't remember. But anyways, yeah, that's fun. Pokemon is a good way to sell money. People love the characters. They're cute little characters. And so if you get into that space, the Pokemon space, I think, what was his name? The guy, his name, Jordan, I think he's got some Pokemon prints that he does at his shop too. So, oh man, Blast from the Past. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? Yeah, exactly. I was watching it the other day on YouTube. It's free on YouTube. I got to finish watching it. I got halfway through and started falling asleep. I was watching it because I want to see how raunchy it is. And so far, it's not too bad. I thought it was going to be bad because I think there's a few parts in there. Because I want my kids to see it. I want my son he'll laugh the whole time because Johnny 5 is funny. He's a funny little character. But there's a few adult themes there, but I don't think he'd even really pay attention to what's going on. He would just laugh at the robot, you know, doing its thing, shooting at things and making funnies. So I'm an 80s kid. I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, and I miss it, still love it. I still watch old 80s movies. Some of my favorite movies probably are Aliens, the whole Alien kind of, I guess, trilogy. I don't like any of the Aliens beyond that. Predator, classic. I love Predator. Johnny Five, you know, Short Circuit. Breakfast Club, that's always a classic. What's the one with the Porsche that goes into the woods? I like that movie too. I can't remember the name of it. War Games, that's another classic with Matthew Broderick. I like that one. I saw that one earlier before the other one that was really popular he had. I don't know. Yeah, I just like 80s. 80s is classic. It's just good. It was a great time. You know, I was listening to some music the other day on one of those like 80s to now channel. And you know, back then, the 80s and 90s, you probably didn't appreciate the music, but now that you listen to it now, it was a great time. 80s and 90s were pretty decent. 70s are great. So are the 60s. But once I get to the 2000s and the 2010s, I couldn't even tell you what music was even around then. I mean, and I listened to it back then, but it just doesn't have the theme or the vibe that the 80s and 90s did have. So War Games was the best. I still love that movie if I watch it again. It's just, I think it was ahead of its time, you know? It was kind of like AI. And when you think about it, you know, what they're building today is even more scary than the Whopper, right? That's what it was, the Whopper. I forget what that stood for, but I remember the acronym. But yeah, that's a classic movie. Trying to remember some other good movies in the 80s. I've got them, like a bunch of them over there. These aren't 80s movies, but I do like Gladiator. Oh, Scarface. That is probably one of my favorite movies. I've been watching that with my parents for years. Not with my kids. I am not letting my kids watch Scarface. No way. But that's a classic. I do enjoy that one. Let's see here. Sorry, I missed a few chat here. Let's see here. Jack goes, I like robotics. I built a radio-controlled lawnmower. Whoa, that's cool. Twister and Days of Thunder, hands down. Days of Thunder, man, I haven't thought about that movie in a long time. I don't care. I liked Flight of the Navigator. Is that a movie? I've never seen that. I got them on my rack mount server. Real genius. Stuff I'm not familiar with, I guess. Flight of the Navigator. I don't know if I've ever seen. Is that a movie? It's a movie? Okay. I'll have to check that out. Who's in that? Let's see. Flight of the Navigator. Well, speaking of flying, Top Gun, that was a classic. I mean, a lot of people don't like, what's his name? I forget the name of the guy, the main actor there, but I still think it's a great movie. Oh, yeah. Flight of the Navigator. I think I remember seeing this movie, yeah. But I only saw it like one time. But I never watched it again. Okay, I'll have to check that one out. And then there's another one. Not The Land Before Time. That was that was a cartoon. No, the one with the what is the name of the movie where this kid is riding on this dragon? I'll remember it. I'm drawing a blank. I'm showing you my age here. I'm sure someone will say it. Let's see here. Weird Science, yeah. E.T. You gotta love E.T. I watched that the other day with my kids. My daughter wasn't really into it, but my son loved that movie. He was cracking up the entire time. I got to remember this movie with the kid that goes on. It's a weird movie. The last something, I don't remember what it is. It's going to bother. The Never-Ending Story. Thank you, Warhawk. You knew what I was talking about. The Never-Ending Story. Yeah, where like there's those gates, and I don't remember how that story goes. And then the horse that like drowns in the quicksand or whatever. It was like sad and all that. So my kids have never seen that one, but I'll have to watch it, see how it is. What about, you guys remember Beastmaster, right? Beastmaster with the ferrets. I don't remember how that movie goes, but it's been a long time, but that was a classic movie as well. It kind of, the Never-Ending Story kind of reminds me of that Beastmaster vibe back in the day. It's kind of like Beastmaster and He-Man, that all kind of went together, that kind of thing. And then, of course, we have the Terminator. You can't have the 80s without Terminator. Terminator 1, even Terminator 2 was great when that came out in like 1992 or something. I was watching Top Gun for the first time the day Dale Earnhardt passed away and never watched it again. Oh man, that's rough, yeah. Now, basically Top Gun reminds you of that day. It was like the Daytona 500, right? February something. Yeah, I remember that day too. I was never a big NASCAR fan. I've been to NASCAR events before. I've got an aunt that's super big on NASCAR. She was completely devastated. But looking back, that's sad for a lot of people that cherish that sport. I've been to the races. I've stayed overnight. You know, I camped in one of the campgrounds outside of Michigan International. And it's a blast. I had a lot of fun back in the day. It was the Winston Cup back then. It wasn't the, they changed it over to the Sprint Nextel Cup or whatever. I don't even know what it is now. I'm sure there's some different sponsor. But let's see here. Just so you know, I am about to be 50 this year. LOL. Hey, I'm 46. I'm not too far behind. Unfortunately, I don't want to get it to 50 that quick. But again, I'm only 4 years away, so I hear you. This month, you're going to be 50. Well, hey, happy birthday to you, Jack. I'll have to check out your channel and, you know, drop a comment. Maybe you'll do a birthday video or something. But happy birthday regardless. 50, are you going to do a big party or something? Maybe someone in your family is going to throw you a party. If not, hey, happy birthday, man. And 50 is the new 40, right? Let's see here. Yep, it was rough. He's my hero. Went to the Daytona 500 3 years later. Oh, that's great that you got to get down to the Daytona 500. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a pretty big track, right? MIS is a large track as well. They get pretty fast on the backstretch. I think Daytona is more of a standard oval. And I think Michigan is a triangle. Like they have a long backstretch, then a curve to the front, then one curve to the back, then the backstretch. That's when they get the speed. I think Indy is an oval as well. Indianapolis 500 or whatever it is in NASCAR 400. That's a straight oval too. Like I said, I used to watch NASCAR a decent amount, but I wasn't like a super fan. I thought it was kind of cool to watch, and man, that's a big market for merchandise. That's for sure. If you can, that's another idea too for 3D printing, Brent. If you're into NASCAR, you know, come up with some NASCAR themed prints. I mean, it's hard because like you don't want to get hit for NASCAR branding, but you could come up with like theme colors, which isn't using a brand or a sponsor, and maybe theme out your battery holders with NASCAR colors. You could do that for sure. That's what people are looking for custom 3D prints. Like that's the problem with these wall plates is they're kind of like really not a customizable thing. I did get one custom order for that Milwaukee tool room, if you guys saw that video, which is what got me into the black and the red wall plates, which was a great order, by the way. It was in the, you know, a couple $100 range. So that is one way I can customize these wall plates. But I think for a product like a battery wall holder, you could definitely do NASCAR themed stuff for that. Because people are putting those into workshops, and if it's guys buying those and putting them in workshops, they might be into NASCAR, right? That kind of goes in my mind. So yeah. Now let's check on this print, see where it's at. I don't have really any timeline on these Friday night live streams. It's pretty much kind of where to where like I get tired, then I'm kind of done. Usually, you know, in the summer I'll probably have more energy because I'm not waking up at 5:30 in the morning to take my kids to school. So that's kind of nice. I sleep in till 7. All right, let's see how it's going. It's looking decent so far. This is a Decora plate. So it looks like the, I don't know if I can see it better up there. Yeah, it looks like the plate opening is looking pretty decent. And that support, that'll be interesting to take off that manual support that I created. And like I said, a customer or a YouTube viewer who bought one of the wall plates, he suggested I create this, or I watched this YouTube video, it was Slant 3D, and to see if this would work. So the jury's still out. I tell you what, I was watching one of my 3D prints just today, I think, and sometimes I just get mesmerized by the printing process, how the layers change, or how the printer changes the layer as it's going around and around and doing supports and infill. It's just neat. I just love it. I love the 3D printing hobby and business. You know, it's been fun learning business doing this. I'm going to actually take this part off the plate. I got something to do. Why not? Maybe I'll bring the laptop too. Keep it on the chat. Let's see here. All right, I got it. I can come back for that tripod. Let's see. DOFAI Solutions. Smart. Never seen more crybaby millionaires. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Crybaby millionaires? Who's the crybaby millionaires? Oh, you mean like when the NASCAR thing happened, I suppose? I don't know if everyone's a million. Maybe NASCAR people are millionaires, but I don't think NASCAR fans are millionaires. That's for sure. If that's what you're referring to. All right. Let's go ahead and take this thing off. This is obviously the messy part to 3D printing, right? It's all the filament waste, which, you know, someday I'll get better at it if I can come up with the print angle to have less supports. But this thing has, this is one of my biggest products. Almost takes the whole build plate. Let's see here. Gotta get my thing out. All right. Usually I try to take this out first. So this is the second time I've done this with these type of supports, so I'm new to try to figure out what the best way to get this out. I don't know if I like this better. It's hard to say. It's definitely sturdier. so I don't worry too much about, like sometimes this area, if it's going left and right like this will kind of like sag a little bit. And now that I've rotated this part going this way to the printer, now these are really strong and I don't worry about this sagging one bit. But it's harder to get off, unfortunately. So let's see if I can just, once you get it started, that's really the key. Gotta get it started and then start to come off. Well, and this is the first time I've tried this red material, so that's kind of new. It is getting out these modules out pretty good, so that's good. Yeah, and then I take this little scraper and I scrape off the leftover material. Yeah, I definitely want to get this stuff to a point where I don't have to do this. That's the goal. So I'm really hoping that that print works out pretty good. And that's another reason why you want to do this in a basement. I get plastic stuff all over the place. Plastic nards flying everywhere. Not bad. It is leaving a little tiny mark. I don't know if you can see it. You see that little mark there, the support mark? So there's a little bit there. As far as this goes, let's see how this comes out. A little bit leftover part here. Again, the PETG is new for me, so I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to print these. If the angled print doesn't work, you know, then I gotta figure out what the best route is. Got it out. Didn't get all of it. Yeah, these supports are a little more difficult. However, the I like what this is doing as far as the quality goes. Let me get this out real quick. There. As far as the quality goes on this inside, it's real nice and smooth. I like this much better. I'm not feeling as much like inconsistency in how the supports is holding up this ledge. So I like that. That's great. Let's check out the chat. Let's see here. Dan, you could use PLA as a support material, might help. I just don't have a dual nozzle, so I think switching the material would take my prints double, if not triple the amount of time. For each layer, I'd have to change over to PLA. If I get a dual nozzle, though, easily put PLA inside here. I definitely plan on doing that. And I've saved enough cash from the business revenue. I I also have another business I shut down. I still have like $1,000 in that business in the bank, and I might take all of that. I might get an H2C. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. If I consistently get more sales with this, with these wall plates, like if I can get sales on the light switches and continue to get more on the Decora and the other ones, yeah, it might kind of justify a dual nozzle printer. So yeah, this back is huge on this 3-gang wall plate. It's kind of satisfying sometimes taking off supports and getting to the finished product, you know. Now, you know what's funny is the white, same manufacturer, Elegoo, it felt like it was easier to take this support off, but this red, it's pretty firm. There's a little difference in how this material sticks when you have different colorant in here. There we go. Came off nice and clean. Now, obviously, I'll have to go and clean this up, but I mean, I'm using this one for product photos, but I would easily ship this one if somebody bought it. It's in good shape. Just that little tiny corner that warped slightly. And I kind of try to make this smooth in the back. It feels rough because it's, you know, the head supports. It's the back of the plate, so it's not a big deal, but I try to smooth it out so that you don't get scratches or anything like that. And I just feel it with my fingers, make sure it's smooth as to where I don't feel anything sharp, you know. It's not like it's going to cut you, it's just, you know, abrasive kind of to your fingers or your skin. There. It's looking pretty good, the back of it. Looks good. This is looking great. I like this. Love it. Now I just gotta get my heat gun out. Let's go ahead and do it. There we go. A little bit of post-processing, right? I don't want to warp it and get it too hot. That's pretty good. You know, it doesn't need to be perfect. I can still see a slight little imperfections where that support was, but overall it did take care of it. And this is a good product. Honestly, I like it. You know, if people like red, I like the red. I think it's pretty sharp. Kind of wish I had a tool room that was that Milwaukee themed tool room. Yeah, this will work. Now I got to just mount it to my presentation board. I haven't really played with this 3-gang unit very much, but yeah, it looks like it lines up good. Also have to mount the screws on there. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. I like it. Take some photos of this, theme them out with AI, all that jazz, and then get them up on Etsy. I've got two or three of these 3-gang light switch things in my house. So I've got the almond one, which I can mount in my house, take some realistic photos, and then I'll do like more of like the advertising photos. But yeah, I think PETG is going to be the future for my business. So excited about that. This looks great. So I'm going to wait for that print to finish to see if it works. And then I'm going to take this model and reorient it at a 45 degree and then add the 45-degree manual support that I've got here, if it all works. I got to still test that out. And I don't know if I'll need 2 of them. I'd like to only just do 1, like right here on the edge. I don't know if I'd need a second one. We'll see. Now, the only nice thing to it, printing at a 45, is I'll never get the warping on all 4 of these corners. I would just have the risk of the warping on 2 corners. So, I don't know. We'll see. Kind of nice to get rid of these supports, right? You know, it's about 20 grams of filament, maybe 30 on these bigger plates. So, I mean, but that adds up. You know, 20 grams times 5, that's 100 grams. That's 1 wall plate. That's a whole, you know, $1, $2 that I can save. So, let's see here. All right, you guys are talking about, let me go back. I missed some chat here. I use a deburring tool on the edges. Yep. Fakun 84. Hello, my friend. I'm new in 3D printing. Please recommend me best courses to learn printing tips and 3D editing programs, please. I didn't learn through any courses. I just watch YouTube videos, just YouTube University. Tinkercad is what I first learned on. I think that's a good program to learn basic modeling skills. You can learn how to cut out sections of parts, of models out of each part, and it's just an easy way to learn. I would go with Tinkercad. Go and do YouTube University on Tinkercad. Just search Tinkercad XYZ. You'll figure out how that modeling works. And then Bamboo Studio, just start searching on that. There are people who focus solely on Bamboo Studio in YouTube land, and that's the way to do it. So I don't know if there's any other official courses out there. There probably are. There's all sorts of people that probably offer 3D printing courses. So that is why I got the Snapmaker U1 because you got the multi-nozzle there. If you're not familiar, Fakun, if you have 2 nozzles on a printer, what's nice about that is for certain materials, like I'm using more advanced engineering materials, supports are a pain when you're supporting an overhang. And if you can use a cheaper material that doesn't stick to your existing material, the part you're trying to print, it makes your world a lot easier. So that's why I'm talking about supports and dual nozzles. I need a printer with 2 nozzles, and they came out with the X2D after I had bought 2 P2S printers, which only are single nozzles. The X2D has 2 nozzles. So I kind of wish I would have maybe waited a little bit, but hey, I got started when I got started, and it is what it is. I still love my printers. They work great. Let's see here. Brent goes, on my H2S and on supports, it only changes to support material on the last 2 layers before the ABS. Okay, so you've got only a little couple parts to change out. That's good. I love Fusion 360 for making parts like he is working on now. I use Blender to make organic models. Cool. Yeah, I'm interested in Fusion 360. I'm on Blender right now, which it's okay. I'm able to work around it and learn and deal with it. I'm assuming these modeling softwares are all very similar, with obviously some differences here and there. Fakun says, a month ago I bought a Bamboo P2S and actually learning Fusion from YouTube. Exactly. Yep, YouTube University. That's all you need. There's plenty of content creators that are focusing only on Fusion 360. And you got probably hundreds of them to learn from. So I think from my perspective, how I approach, at least from my channel, if you come to my channel, I'm going to give you broader, probably perspectives mixed in with business things that I'm learning through the process. So that's kind of how my channel rolls. And yeah, I do talk about other things other than 3D printing from time to time. So a lot of people get, Jack says, a lot of people get scared off by the tools in Fusion. You don't have to learn all of it at once, and most of it you'll never use. Exactly. I completely agree with you. Even Blender, there's probably hundreds, if not thousands of features I will never use. I only use the things I need. You know, most of the time it's a modifier where I'm unioning two things, I'm doing a difference, or I'm doing an intersect. That's the three main things I use. I do extrude sometimes. I use the chamfer feature where you're rounding off a corner. Other than that, not a whole lot else. I do the mirror function because I'm doing a left and right configuration on the wall plates. But even then, I don't even use the mirror in Blender anymore. I use it in Bamboo Studio. It's much easier for me to deal with it there. Let's see here. You need to try the U1. I love mine. Game changer. Okay. Snapmaker U1. I'll look into that. You can also use Tinkercad, but I don't like that much. Yeah, I think it probably has its limitations. But if you're really new to modeling and you're scared of it, I think Tinkercad is a good way to go. I wouldn't base my whole business around it, but I bet you some people have and can, you know, or you can and you probably, there are people that probably have done it and are probably successful at it, so it is probably feasible. But I feel like you might want to learn an advanced CAD type of software. Even me on Blender, I kind of feel like Blender is, I don't think it's considered a parametric modeling software. I'd like to learn the whole parametric concept and how that all works. But, you know, it just takes time and you got to figure out what you want to do, you know. FreeCAD is good now. Okay. You can create models in Bamboo Studio, but it is limited. Yeah, it is. They do have some decent features in there. I've only used a few things in there. I've used the, I've done a cut, right, where you create connectors on a cut. I've done that before. I've mirrored, but I haven't done like cutting holes out or anything. I just use it as mostly just to slice things and get them in the actual printer. I don't mess around too much in the Bamboo Studio because then I have to manage it, the models kind of in Bamboo Studio and in Blender, and I don't really want to do that. I'd rather manage things in Blender and then just dump them into the slicer software. That's just my flow. Watching from Argentina, that's cool. Yeah, you're probably a few hours ahead of us, maybe by like 2 or 3 hours. You're probably near California time, something like that. That's cool. Tulsa Skin says, SolidWorks is the best I have used, but not new, user-friendly. Yeah, I think even Blender, some people say that it's not kind of user-friendly. I don't know. I kind of figured it out pretty quickly. I didn't think it was that hard. Nothing's really that hard if you're willing to watch YouTube University, you know? So, hey, we should get some party lights going, you know? Gotta get my lights on. If they still work. Oh, they work. Yeah, let's do the green. There we go. I always forget to put these little LED lights on. Oh, okay, so you're around the same time as we are. Blender can be parametric with a plugin called CAD Sketcher. Okay, that's cool. Now, Jack, are you familiar with Model Context Protocol, MCP? Have you ever heard of that? That is something that AI models or AI software are using to connect to pieces of software or APIs. And Blender now has an MCP plugin Okay, so what you can do is, I haven't done this yet. I watched the video. It blew up, this video I watched. You can now launch Claude Desktop and wire it up using Blender's MCP plugin. And you can prompt in Claude what you want it to do to the file you have open on Blender, and it'll go in there and it'll manipulate your models. I don't know how much it costs as far as like tokens that you're going to burn through as far as the AI goes, but it's interesting. I might consider doing that just for fun. I use Meshy to make some 3D stuff. Yeah, Meshy's an AI online platform, if I'm not mistaken, I think. I don't know if they have a desktop software, but that's similar. You know, you can prompt it. But yeah, stuff is getting crazy. I mean, being able to use Claude, because Claude now understands Blender from a model context protocol perspective. That's what it's called, guys. And I will say to everyone, if you're still in the world of working, you know, I know a lot of us are kind of getting to that age where we're nearing retirement, but the thing you need to understand about AI for business is MCP. MCP, MCP, MCP. Model Context Protocol. Understand what the hell that all is, because that's going to be big in the next few years. Is you can make model context protocols for your business too, for things that maybe you have software going on in your business, or maybe you have like some sort of program you could tie into your databases. All I know is that my brother, he's into AI, and he talks about these MCPs all the time. And obviously I just mentioned Blender built in MCP for their program. So it's a big deal for the AI to interact with technology. That's kind of what the gist of it is. I'm not super familiar on the tech from a low-level perspective, but I do know that they're pretty important, and I'm going to explore it on... I favorited this video. I need to rewatch it and maybe set it up on my laptop. I don't have Claude Desktop. I've never used it. I'm always a ChatGPT guy. But yeah, it should be interesting. I like Onshape for CAD. I've heard other people, maybe it's Jordan from the 3D print shop, or the print shop. I think maybe he uses that program. I can't remember. It might not be that program, but I've seen other people use that. You can get local desktop AI if you have crazy high-end graphics card, but Meshy is online. Yeah, but I think what is happening with Claude is Claude has the local connection into Blender through this MCP plugin, and Claude is probably being inferenced in the cloud, and somehow maybe it grabs information from your model, goes up to the cloud, infers it, processes it, and then figures out what the output should be back into Blender. I'm not exactly sure, but it's kind of interesting. There's another online AI I use, Tencent HY. Okay. That is right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting future. When I first started getting into the modeling, I thought about using an AI tool to play with, and I did. I prompted one online, a free one, you know, and played and just checked it out, seeing what it would render. It was total garbage, if you ask me. And the way I looked at it was, if I don't learn the fundamentals of modeling and how to use these softwares, even if I were to create an AI generated model, I wouldn't be able to easily change it and manipulate it to my needs without knowing the software, how all this stuff works. So I didn't want to be on the crutch of doing AI models. I didn't want to have that crutch. I wanted to learn the fundamentals as best as I could with the time I had. And now I see where, oh, okay, if I generate an AI model, I can pump it into Blender and do manipulations to it, you know. And I still have a lot to learn, don't get me wrong, But I don't want to rely on AI modeling solely. I think that's a big mistake. I mean, you're not going to be able to easily optimize your product for 3D printing to even make it a profitable business, et cetera, et cetera. So people are mad about AI learning from people's work. That is how people learn, though. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, everyone's learning from each other when it comes to 3D printing. I wouldn't know how to do this 3D printing without learning from another human. Yeah, we could talk about AI like crazy. I will talk about it too. I feel like there's two camps out there, right? There's the camp of just hate everything about it, and then there's the camp where you see the power behind it, right? I'm in that camp. I'm in the camp of it's here, it's not going anywhere. If you don't decide to use it, you're going to fall behind. So you might as well get on the bandwagon, because otherwise you're going to be left behind. The world's going to change really quick. We're going to have these single CEO companies. I'm one of them. I mean, it's a small business. It's not some big corporate conglomerate business. But at the end of the day, I don't need to hire a marketing person. I don't need to hire, a ton of other people that can do the white collar work of generating, scenes and content and maybe even short videos for my products. There's so many little aspects to running a business that are expensive that AI is going to easily help most small businesses rise up and compete against the Walmarts of the world, or compete against the big businesses of the world, because you don't have that overhead anymore. You can actually get into a market. You can manufacture products from your basement with a 3D printer and have AI help you with the logistics and the white collar work that is required to sell a product. So, I mean, even my, the Shopify website, half of that was built with AI. I mean, they give you a template, and then you talk to the little AI agent on the right side. You're like, I don't like how this looks. Can you change that? Can you go to this area and change blah, blah, blah? It just navigates you in their own platform how to do everything in Shopify. I've never read a tutorial. I just talk to the AI and it tells me where to go. And if I don't know how to do it, I'll look in YouTube, It is just like CNC. Old school woodworkers sometimes look down on us for using a CNC. Oh yeah, I get that, yeah. It is still woodworking. AI is the same. It's just another tool. You're exactly right, yeah. It's just another tool in the toolbox. Is it going to do everything in the world? I don't think so, Even the robots, if we get to that point where we have robots, they're not going to be able to do everything, honestly. I don't see them taking off apart from a build plate and cleaning it up nice and clean and taking the hairdryer and really doing a good job on it. That's like going to be 10 or 20 years, to be honest. It'll be able to take it off the build plate and maybe place it into some bucket somewhere, right? I could see that happening. Maybe it could take off some supports here and there. But there's going to be a lot of problems in the process. That's going to cost money, and there's going to be people involved in it. But for white collar is easily, maybe not all of it replaced, but like, for example, 10 years ago, well, not even that long ago, 5 years ago, I had a staff of like 5 or 6 developers. Now it's just my brother and I for the company we work for, and we just vibe code the entire application, vibe code the whole thing, all the maintenance, all the new features. We're now also expanding. Not only are we working on our product, we're now we built my company's new website with all new branding, with just basically my brother, myself, and one other person. It was a piece of cake. Just vibe coded the whole thing. And now we're building like a partner portal. Again, more vibe coding. If you know what you're doing in coding, AI just makes your job a piece of cake. Honestly, it's crazy. It's insane what it can do. I can't express that enough. Yeah, true. Jack in the shop. Yep, you get it. Yeah, you guys are getting it. I mean, there's going to be NIMBYism where not in my backyard with the data centers. I get all that. I kind of agree. Like, we need a better solution than what is going on in the country. Like, they're suing. Like in Michigan, the company sued the board of the township, and the board didn't have any money for lawyers to even fight that kind of legal battle. So they just hands up, gave up, and this AI data center that OpenAI is putting in went through. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't know what the solution is. Elon Musk thinks the solution is to launch rockets and data centers into space, but that's like pipe dream, if you ask me. I don't know. We need to put them maybe all in some place in the world, maybe the North Pole or something. But then they might melt the ice caps, right? We don't want that. I don't know what the solution is. It's a mess. Let's see. Ooh, it's still looking good. It'll be interesting to see if it can finish the top part there, the ledge. We'll see. I'm gonna sit down here. But yeah, it's been a good live stream, man. I've enjoyed all the conversations with you guys. It's been going good. Again, I'm no YouTube pro. I do what I can, you know. And I realized early on, you know, doing a few live streams early, it's really all about just hanging out, honestly. It's a hangout. That's what live streams are all about. No agenda, really, for me, as far as like trying to, you know, when I do videos, I try to add value and provide like some sort of topic, you know, a theme to the video. Like, you know, the video was 3 reasons I switched from PCTG to PETG or something like that. I don't even have the final title, but I think it was going to be 3 reasons I'm changing to PETG filament or something like that. I got to come up with the right title. But yeah, the live streams, I like to just hang out and talk in the chat, maybe do a few things here and there, show and tell, right? That kind of thing. I like show and tell. So they're trying to put one of those near you right now. Oh, yeah. That's a struggle because there's one in Dowagiac, which isn't too far from Kalamazoo. It's in a rural area, like there's a big dump there. You know, it's blue collar farm kind of land. There's a little town there, and it's loud, and people are recording now and posting it on TikTok, and local news is starting to pick it up. And it's just a constant fan humming noise coming from one of these data centers. So it's like, you know, there should have been like laws either at the state or the federal level where these data centers need to be miles from any sort of civilization. Even small towns, they should be miles from. They should be in the middle of a cornfield that takes you 5 minutes on a road to get to, and there's no houses around it. I don't know if that place exists, but that would be nice, right? That's what needs to happen from a regulation perspective. They need to have regulation on how far these things need to be from civilization, and the cost of doing business, of running that data center, is going to have to be trucking people in, right? Or people have to drive in from a distance. I think that should be part of this whole data center build out that they're doing. I look forward to your live stream. You've given me many ideas and given me motivation to keep going. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, no problem, Brett. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate everyone being here, spending the time, getting new ideas. That's what it's all about. You know, that's what I want to do, is just share ideas, motivate people. That's kind of the direction I'm going on the channel. You know, I obviously talk about my products a lot, but that's part of running a business. You should be promoting your products and being proud of what you make. If you're not proud of what you're going to make, you're never going to sell your products. That's the bottom line. You have to plug your products in because you need to have conviction for your products, or else there's no point in being in business, honestly. So otherwise, it's like a pipe dream if you're not going to promote it and push your products. So I do from time to time, I'm going to show my products, and I try to convey what I'm learning, right? I'm trying to deal with support still. I'm dealing with different materials. I'm learning from it, and hopefully little tidbits roll off and help viewers of the channel. That's the whole goal. Our electric and water infrastructure can't handle it, so guess they will see. Yeah, you're right, man. Like, everyone was worried about EVs, which is a fair concern with the electricity grid of electric vehicles plugging into people's houses. But I think the data centers is 10x the EV problem by far. The water and the electricity is a problem. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. It's a struggle. And there's a lot of people, including myself, that the only way you're going to keep up on the concentration of wealth is to invest in these companies. You're seeing it in the stock market. If you aren't invested in these companies, you're going to fall behind. I've said this on the channel. I said it 12 months, 18 months ago, talking about AI quite a bit on the channel. If you're not exposed to it, the risk is you're going to fall behind. And I've always dogged on the whole crypto thing. I'm like, just invest in AI stocks, because it's going to be compound wealth over wealth over wealth. And unfortunately, it's going to hurt our planet, I think, in the process. But otherwise, you're going to fall behind and struggle. So that's my advice, is have some exposure in those products or companies that have exposure to these AI data centers, because they're not going anywhere. They're very powerful. And who knows what the next breakthrough is going to be. They might say today, oh, we only need this many data centers. Tomorrow it might be, oh, we need 10 more data centers than what we did today. So it's kind of crazy. Jack is saying, our power bill is going up to cover the plant and we don't get the power from it. Yeah, that's where the regulation needs to come in. I'm not about regulation, but something needs to be done. Like, these companies that have these, I think that they need to come back to and overhaul all data centers, not just AI data centers, but even regular compute data centers. They need to overhaul the whole thing, make it uniform, and say, yo, bros, you're going to pay for your own electricity. You got to build a power plant, or whatever it is, right? We need to come back to that. I think states are going to probably start doing that. Like that one data center in Utah that's like the size of Manhattan that's going to come out. What's going to happen there? It's like double the amount of electricity that Utah even uses today. So I don't know what's going to happen there. That sucks. My power bill is already insane. Over $600 a month in the summer. Man. For about a 1,700 square foot home. Yeah, that's a lot for 1,700 square foot. Does that include natural gas? And I think consumers' energy is going up in Michigan as well. I'm anticipating that. I'm going to actually budget and plan for electricity costs increasing. I actually pay extra on my mortgage kind of for that reason. I'm trying to pay my house down and pay it off in the next 10 years, because I know that by the time I pay off this house, electricity, insurance, probably property taxes is going to be almost probably the amount of my mortgage. That's the reality we're all dealing with, and I don't know how most of us are going to live through that. But it doesn't even include natural gas. Oh, geez, $600 a month, man. Do you live in a warm climate for summer? Because mine is electricity. We're around $350 a month in the summer. That includes natural gas. In the winter, I'm up around 500 a month because our natural gas goes up. We're in Michigan, so it's always cold here. But about 150 of it is EV charging. I do have 2 Teslas. Yes, it's in Oklahoma. Yeah, that kind of explains it. 2 EVs, and you're in Oklahoma in the summer. 600 a month. That's still pretty pricey though, because, you know, if you were filling up gas cars, you'd probably be at, I mean, I fill my car up every other week, about $60 a tank, but I've got a small car. I don't know what you have, but $60 every 2 weeks, so that's 120. So maybe it's 150. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe it does. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. I think I would be charging at work. Yeah, that's what you got to do, man. Take advantage of the work plug-in. Get yourself a nice, thick extension cord. Roll it on up there to your work. Plug it into the 110 outlet. You might get a little juice there. Find a 220 outlet somewhere around the corner. You know, the workshop or something. So. Yep, all things that I think that we're going to struggle with, no doubt. Yeah, I don't have answers for anyone out there. I guess the answer is probably save your money. Don't blow your money on stupid stuff. I guess what you might think is stupid, but everyone else thinks otherwise. You know, everyone thinks certain things about certain things, I guess, but just save your money. Be smart with your money. Try not to buy too many things. You know, don't upgrade your lifestyle. That's a huge trap we all fall in. I fell in on this house. I upgraded this house. My mortgage was $1,250 a month. I went up to $3,000 a month. So I fell into that same trap, but I'm being smart about it, and I am paying extra on my mortgage. I am going to get it out of here pretty soon. But that's the key to surviving this whole economy is be good with your money, be smart with your money, and if you do that, you'll probably be okay. So, still cheaper than gas and oil changes, but still sucks. Yeah, I hear you. What about tires? I hear EVs need new tires more often. Looks nice. Maybe my house, is that what you're referring to? Yeah, I do enjoy my house here. Yeah, I've heard that too, Jack, with the EV tires. That does concern me. I do want a Tesla. I just think it'd be kind of fun to have that kind of acceleration. But I think the tires would suck to replace them. As long as you're not a lead foot, I think it's about the same. Yeah, I think I'd be the lead foot. I'd probably burn through a lot of tires. But, you know, it is what a car is a car. I mean, you're probably going to have maintenance at some point. Things break, no matter which kind of car it is. I still do have a small position in Tesla. I sold a big chunk of it not too long ago for various reasons. I have a video on it. You can watch the video. But so I wouldn't mind buying a Tesla. I still believe in the company to an extent, but I'm not as bullish as I used to be. I don't think everyone's into EVs. I think it was a fad for a year or two. But I think I would like it, just not having to go to the gas station and charging at my house. I think it'd be kind of nice. It's just one of those things. So, but yeah, I probably should get going. It is almost 12:30. It's coming up there. But this was a lot of fun. Meeting new people. I don't think I've seen Tulsa Skin. Jack in the Shop, I might have seen you before. I can't remember. You know, every now and then I meet new people and try to remember names. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So I'm really, really happy to do this on Friday nights. My wife allows me to do it. You know, you got to have permission to spend the time. So I have 200,000 miles on one and 32K on the other, but it's a lot newer. I have been here but lurked. All right, awesome. 200,000, that's really good. You must drive a lot because, Teslas have only been kind of big for the last 6 years. 200K is quite a bit of miles. So, yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, Jack, you get around too on the 3D printing circuit in YouTube. So, no, that's awesome, man. You drive your cars out. That's good. Good deal. I've got 100,000 on my Ford Fusion Sport 2011. And then I have 65K on my minivan from 2017, I believe. So one's a 2019 and a 2024. Yeah, the 2019's got the 200,000 miles on it. That's cool. No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, maybe my next car might be a Model Y. We'll see. I know my wife wants to get a Tesla. I just don't want to buy a new car. I like my paid off cars. I like not having a car payment. So I'm going to keep riding my cars out. My Ford Fusion has some suspension issues. It's been making these clicking and grinding noises as I'm slowly turning here and there. So I need to call like a small auto shop down the road and have them take a look at it. It's probably going to cost me $1,000, but $1,000 is still cheaper than a car payment, right? Because you're going to have 12 of those every year. $1,000 a month or $800 a month or whatever it is. My car and my truck are paid off. Yes, that is nice. I have a 2019 JCW Mini. That's my toy. Okay. What's a JCW Mini? I gotta look at that. What is that? Oh, look at that. JCW Mini? Cooper. I mean, it's a Mini Cooper. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the little European car. You don't see those very often. Those are fun, though. Fun looking. Yeah, is it fun to, like, kind of, you can drive around corners real quick and whatnot? That's pretty fun. Cool. Yeah, I like sedans. I'm not into big cars. I mean, we have the minivan for the kids. I'm not a big fan of driving it. But my Ford Fusion is a little peppy little guy. It's got like a V6, 3.6 liter, if I'm not mistaken, or 3.4, one of the two. And it still has punch 16 years later. I can get out and about, no problem. I can get on the freeway and just zigzag around. So it's tuned up and very fast. Yeah, I bet you that's a lot of fun. Minivan dad. Yep, that is me. Yep, I got the baseball gear in the trunk. Scooters, bikes, whatever it is we're doing, soccer gear. Yep, minivan dad is right. Your son's 20 now. Awesome. That's cool. Is he still living at home or has he moved out? Is he off to college? What's he up to? I know that's a tough, interesting time, early 20s for young people trying to figure out what to do, My recommendation is stay at home if you get along with your parents and save up money and work hard, just build a little nest egg for yourself and then get out to the world maybe in your mid-20s or something like that. But some people like to get out at 18. I was out at 19. I never went back home with my parents. My brother lived at home for till he was, I think, 26-ish. But he did he went backpacked Europe for a month. He went to China for a month. He also went to South America, I think, on his honeymoon or something. So he did this world traveling while he lived with my parents. I was married at 19. I was married at, what was I married at? 24. 2004, I got married. And what am I going on? 22 years? Yeah, it'll be 22 years this July. We're still married. So it's been a good run. We've had our, issues here and there, just like any other marriage does, but nothing major, just your little pet peeves and, oh, what's for dinner? Oh, those arguments, that kind of thing. But lately, we don't really argue that much about anything. We grind just so much that we don't have time for that. We're just like, all right, can we survive through this week? That kind of thing. But things are good. Things are going good. We're looking forward to a vacation this summer. And that's another thing. I'm going to be gone for 9 days. I think I am going to put my Etsy shop in vacation mode, because I don't want to have to be emailing people and say, sorry, I can't get your stuff out. I'd rather just go in vacation mode. Like I said, I'm not running $1 million business here. It's like, 20, 30 bucks a week, that kind of thing. So be nice to be 20 again. You got that right, man. I would love to be 20 again. From a physical perspective, I am feeling aches and pains a little bit more often. Even like my depth perception and reaction time is not as good as it used to be at 20 years old. I wish I could have that back. And just fatigue in general, getting up in the morning is a little bit more effort than it was at 20. Same thing with like doing lawn work or whatever else that's physical labor. I have to take more time to do a project. Like, what was I doing the other day? I was doing wood chips the other day. I went up to Menards 2 or 3 times, got like 15 bags each load, and I was taking my sweet time on it, 1 bag at a time, walking nice and slow over to the area to dump the bag, slowly moving the wood chips around. In my 20s, I'd be hauling 2 of them, kind of hustling and running and offloading the bags, and I'd be done in probably an hour. And, now it might take me 4 hours because I just do not care to, beat my body up, beat my knees up, beat my legs up. So it's one of those things. You get old, I think me and Jack are probably about the same age. Yeah, around 50. I'm 46, so I'm in that same ballpark. Just a little tiny bit earlier, but not much. I kind of feel what that 50 is starting to feel like. You just got to slow down. That's the way I'm looking at it, is you got to slow down. June 23rd, man. Happy birthday on June 23rd. Hopefully I'll see you again, and we'll wish you another happy birthday, because why not? You're 50. You deserve a couple of happy birthday mentions because you made it this far. You make it to 50. You know how many people that you probably knew that didn't even make it to 50? I was talking about it with my mother-in-law the other day. She's here. She's 70-something. And I feel very fortunate that I made it this far compared to other people. And you just got to appreciate life. It goes by fast, and enjoy where you're at. You're still here. If you got your health in some respect, enjoy it, and have hobbies like 3D printing and CNC making and whatever else you're into, and just enjoy life. That's why I love this 3D printing stuff and doing the YouTube live streams, because life is short. You should enjoy it, Oh, LOL, I'm close to 55. Hey, that's in the same ballpark. Yeah, I know it's like a 10-year difference here, but we've lived life. We've had some experience. 26 years since I was 20. That's of adult experience. That's pretty good. I still got a lot to learn. I think everyone does. Over time, you still learn stuff the older you get. But you do slow down. You slow down, you realize what's important, and you make good connections, hopefully. You don't waste your time with toxic people in your life. I certainly don't do that anymore. I never really did. I've always been pretty smart about who I spend my time with. I probably wasted maybe a little bit of time in my early 20s. But for the most part, I've been hustling ever since I was 20 years old. And that's how I've gotten to where I'm at today. And I want to retire in 10 years. I'm shooting for 10 years. 55, I'd like to have the option to retire. It doesn't mean I will retire, but I'd like to have the option to say, hey, I'm going to lower my hours down to 20 hours a week. That's the goal. So I got to double my money one more time, I think. Double my money one more time, then maybe I could retire. We'll see. I'll be 38 in July. Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know you were that young, Brent. That's cool. That's great to be in your 30s. That's still a good time, man. I like being in my 30s. It was fun. I was busy. I mean, I had my kids at 36. So it got busy towards the late 30s. So that's when the fatigue started to kick in, was when you have kids. So I'd love to be able to stay home and just print and sell. Me too, man. I'd love to be able to do that. Not having to be in meetings all day. That's usually where I'm at, is in a lot of conferences. But someday we'll get there, you know? My body is in its upper 80s. No, that's not good. Well, just keep working at it, man. Keep working. Maybe do some workouts. And but yeah, that's a bummer if you feel like that. FYI, Ferris Bueller took a day off 40 years ago. That's the movie I was thinking of. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yes, exactly. Yep. Yeah, it's a classic. Anyways, guys, I got to get going. It is getting late. Now it is 12:30. We made it to 12:30. Let's see, how long has this been stream going on for? 3 hours. That's a record for me. So I hear you there, Shots in the Dark. Yep. It's never easy feeling old, no matter what age you are. So we just got to keep working at it. Try to keep our health up, guys. So yeah, you have a good one too, and hopefully I'll see you guys next Friday. And I'll let you guys know if I do have to change the schedule or not. But we'll just plan on next Friday hanging out, and hopefully I'll have some new stories to tell about my 3D printing adventures, and I'll take a look at that CNC machine too. See what's going on there. So anyways, you guys have a great night, and yeah, thanks a lot, Brent. I appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you guys you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Okay? Later, guys. End the stream here. See you guys. See how this works. I got to end this stream somehow. Don't even know how to end the stream on my DJI Osmo. Maybe I'll just turn it off later.